I love being a coon, shucking and jiving to the moon. I've learned that thief has never learned, so I'll jump ship just to let him burn. I'd rather delay for the coon. Say what wrong with God, God.
No problem. That's right. It stands for cultivating our own neighbors. I don't know what you thought with your racist mind.
Shucking and jiving on the righteous edge, on the righteous edge. Shucking and jiving on the righteous edge, on the righteous edge. Leave it up on the edge, on the righteous edge. Leave it up on the edge, on the righteous edge. I love being a coon, shucking and jiving to the moon. I love being a coon, shucking and jiving to the moon. I love being a coon, shucking and jiving to the moon. I love being a coon, shucking and jiving to the moon. I've learned that thief has never learned, so I'll jump ship just to let him burn. I'd rather delay for the coon. Shucking and jiving on the righteous edge, the righteous edge. Shucking and jiving on the righteous edge, the righteous edge. Live it up on the edge, on the righteous edge. Live it up on the edge, on the righteous edge.
I love it too, my brother. I love it too. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Jack Bravo. I am back on the righteous edge today. And I always say we got something to discuss because it's always something new and stupid going on. It's always something that lets me know that we need this show, because I don't think Christians are addressing these issues properly. The issues of feminism, the issues of women taking over the church, the issues of men not having proper wives to even consider for marriage. These things they're exploding. This is a situation, if we as a church, as Christians, don't get this under control, then we're not being good stewards of the lives that God gave us. It's a real problem. Like, it's been something that I saw that was going viral. And Mr. Producer, if you want to pull that first picture up and just show that in our notes. Yeah, look at that. Has anybody seen this picture? This picture, and it says 52% of women aged 20 to 39 in the U.S. are now child-free. And what it does, almost more important than the fact itself, is how they present the fact. You get what I'm saying? Look, it's a strong woman. Hear me roar. First of all, you know what? Pull that picture back up one more time. Let's look at that. Look at her. So she's in shape. She's fit. She's curvy. And she's mature. She's strong. Is that what you envision when you think of the middle-aged American woman? Is she strong? Is she fit and in shape and childless? No, she's miserable. She's on antidepressants. She's angry, blue-haired, going to ice parade. ICE riots. She's a leftist idiot who believes in abortion. She's not this happy-go-lucky woman out there, woman hear me roar type. Or maybe she is, and that's the type that you avoid. She's not a good person. For one, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, and I stand by it. Any woman, especially if she claims to be a Christian, who is beyond 35 years old and unmarried, something is wrong. Something is wrong. Now, if you have dedicated your life to God and you said, I'm going to stay celibate forever, I'm going to not engage with men and romantically and not go out on dates, I dedicate my life to the ministry of God, go ahead. In Corinthians, it says few people can do that, but not many women are made to do that. And that's not why they're running away from relationships. They're not dedicating their lives to God. They're dedicating their lives to an idol created. And that idol is themselves. It's in the mirror. They're dedicating their lives. They're selling their souls for a Birkin bag. And for those who don't know what a Birkin bag is a highly sought after woman's item that can cost up to $20,000 and sometimes even more, that women will literally sell their souls to get because it makes other women look at them and say, wow, you're a boss babe. Women, dude, Birkin bag, women will literally sell their souls for that. And here's what the main issue is. I don't think Christian men are addressing this correctly. We're not addressing it with the zeal that's needed and required to actually understand the issue, to actually put to death the evil spirit that's behind all this stuff. There's an evil spirit behind this feminist, boss babe, I can do what I want attitude, and it's causing the destruction of America. If we don't stop this, dude, we won't have a generation. The next generation does not exist. We've already deleted 1/3 of the next generation with abortion. Think of it 2 generations from now, which is not that far off. Some of us will be grandparents, and it won't be any grandchildren. Do you understand that? That is something we should be talking about a lot more. And it'd be different if it was because of some medical issues, but this is a sin issue we just refuse to address. For some reason, churches don't address it, Christian men don't address it, podcasts don't address it. When it comes to Christianity, none of these people really address it. And the people that do address it, they get demonized and called evil, and you shouldn't be taught. What about the men? What about the men? What about pornography? And what about this and that? Why don't we take a time to actually address the real issue? Is right in our face. I don't understand how people don't see this. This is a specific problem that it belongs to women. I hate to spin it like that because I love when men talk about taking responsibility. I love when men get up and they say, dude, I'm going to do better. I'm going to make myself a better person, work hard to achieve my next stage of life. I love that. But I think in some ways that type of talk has been holding us back because it's always what more can the men do and never looking at and saying, well, maybe there's a sin issue on the woman's side that needs to be addressed. Can somebody say that without being demonized? Can you even say that? And the answer is no. You are going to have to expect to be demonized if you point out a sin on the women's side. Just expect it. I expect it. I've gotten it. They call me incel online, even though I'm married with multiple kids. I'm still an incel. I'm a loser. I'm a virgin. Like, okay. And I've been called these names by Christian women, so-called Christian women, right? So the problem is deep, man. It's super deep. And people want to act like, oh, it's not that big of a deal because there's people in my generation that I've been married for almost 20 years. And I always say that because I'm proud about that. There's people in my generation who've been married for 10, 15, 20 years, and they act like they don't see what's going on because they just close their eyes to it. They act like they don't see all the whoring that's going on. They act like they don't see men who are like, yo, this is insane out here. These women are crazy. They act like they don't hear the stories. They act like they ain't got sons and nephews. They just act like this stuff don't exist. And it bothers me because it's like, yo, Y'all cannot be so detached because your life is going good that you don't see what the younger men in the next generation is going up against. I have sons. I want them to have a fruitful, godly marriage one day. I want them to give me multiple grandkids. But it won't be that way if we keep ignoring the issue and acting like, well, the men can just clean this up by acting better, getting out there, lifting weights, making more money. That's not going to solve the issue if it's a sin issue. The sin must be addressed. Leaven out the old lump. You must destroy it. We have no fellowship with unfruitful works of darkness, but we rather expose them. So that picture that I showed you, Mr. Producer, you want to pull that back up again? This has been going viral. And this video, what I've seen is such a difference, a contrast. And the contrast is what feminists have done with this information and what men have done with this information. Are like, yo, man, if we don't fix society, it's cooked. It's going to get destroyed. There's no generations to come if we don't fix this issue. And feminists have been posting this proud. Yay, girl, we achieved something. We're deleting society. Yay. They really feel this way. I don't know why. I don't know why. Somebody explain to me why, the deletion of society is great, but I don't know. I don't understand it. But they're touting this. I've seen several feminists online use this picture and say, yes, girl, this is great. Part of it is, this is the part I do understand, misery does love company. A lot of women are out there and they're pretending, hey, since I missed the boat having a child, since I missed the boat in my marriage, since I played around and was promiscuous for 37 years, I want all the other women to be just as miserable as I am. And that's why they're happy that it's not just me. I don't feel alone. Okay, well, you don't feel alone in society that's crumbling. Great. So then, if you scroll down a little bit, you ask yourself, what is the boy sober movement? What's the boy sober movement? And I discovered this because as I was looking into this, I said, you know what? This is a real big problem that's not being addressed. What has women's response to this? What has it been? Have they looked at it and said, we're going to do something to fix this problem? No. Their response has been the boy sober movement, which kind of leads into a lot of these same themes that you see in that picture. You want to read some of that, Mr. Producer?
So, women are increasingly opting out of dating because many are frustrated with the modern dating marketplace. So, this trend of the boys sober exploded on TikTok in 2024 to 2025 as women publicly discussed taking breaks from dating due to disappointment, burnout, and failed relationships. And we've got some. It's been covered in Cosmopolitan and in the ABC network in Australia. So it's kind of this worldwide thing that's been going on.
So they're acting kind of like men are a drug.
Yeah.
And they're sobering up from men. And here's the problem. I wouldn't even have an issue with this if it was like, for moral reason. For instance, if a girl, like all these OnlyFans whores, if they were to get saved, and we'll get to that comment in a sec, but if they were to get saved and say, you know what, I'm going to stop whoring, I'm going to stop engaging in all these acts that require sexual attention from men, I would say good for you. Abstain yourself from that. Separate yourself from that. But that's not what the case is. We're going to discover and we're going to look into why they're saying we're going to be sober from men. What was that comment? Or was it one?
Yeah. That's what I think it was talking about our initial picture.
Oh,
that's a
Michelle?
wild statistic. Yeah. Wild.
That is.
It's
very scary because I don't think people fully grasp what it means for our society. This has never happened in American history till now that we have so many women who are out there alone and childless with nothing to do with their lives. Oh, yeah, they have a job. It doesn't mean anything. We got all these women in HR departments. What are they doing? They're not contributing any, they're not building infrastructure. They're not doing anything. If another cough virus hit, what's going to happen to all those jobs? The women's jobs go first because they don't maintain society, men do. So you're going to see, and it sure is bound to happen. The reason why I think that's bound to happen, another virus, is because you've already let the elites know how much power they get from doing the last one. We've already showed them how much power they can take. This was just a test. So now the next one's probably going to be even more deadly and more visible, and they're going to take more power from people and be able to tell you how to live your life. Oh, you can't go to church because another virus. That's what they did last time. And who were the ones to fall for that? Women. Men did too, a bunch of weak men. But women, for the most part, were like, oh, we're scared. Women value safety more than freedom. Men value freedom more than safety. That's why men take more risk. It's just, these are statistical facts. Anyways, so let's go and talk about what is happening in the dating market that has led women to this movement. Before we delve into the specific rules of the movement, what has happened that led women to think this way, to be sober for men? If you want to pull that first one,
The first
the
video?
bad dates
Yeah,
one.
got it. Okay.
25, right? I'm sitting here and I'm having to build a fucking roster. I'm
That's fine.
having to sit here and go out and do things I don't want to do. I don't want a roster. I don't want to go out and date. I don't like this hookup culture. I don't like any of it. But I feel like I don't have a choice. Men, you guys just get to sit there and you guys can go wait until you're in your 30s, you're almost 40, and you can just go get with a girl that's in her fucking 20s and live a normal life. Girls don't have that luxury. I'm now sitting here at 25 having to figure out how the fuck to get back in these fucking streets so I can figure out. So 10 years down the line, I'm not sitting there single still with my daughter being an only child. Like, I want to have a family. I want to have kids. I want to be happy. Like, I want all of these things. But people don't want that nowadays, it feels. It feels like no matter, it's like, what is this dating stuff? What is Hinge? What is Tinder? What is all of this? Like, it's disgusting. Like, my friends helped me make a Hinge and a Tinder, and it's like, I hated it. I hate it. I ended up deleting my Hinge, and I'm getting ready to delete the Tinder because it's just like I don't want to talk to anybody on there. Like, I don't want to do any of this. Like I'm just sitting there like a magazine going through like clothing. That's what
What do you guys notice about her speech? What do you notice about some of the things she said? First of all, one thing that I noticed is I want this, I want that. I.
Lots of eyes.
It's all about me. What is it you provide to a man that makes you deserve a good man? Because in order to get a good man, you got to be a good woman. People forget that part.
Oops.
I want this, I want that. Okay, all about what you want. And men have it easy and this and that, and you guys can just do this. Well, what are you doing to provide a man with anything worthy of him taking care of you for the rest of your life? What's the comment there?
So the comment is most of these women treat dating like it's their grocery budget. So
Yes.
yeah. So are they really taking a break?
No, and here's the thing. That's exactly the attitude she had. It was like, I need this. I don't want to have that. I don't want to live alone. I want to have my kids be taken care of. What are you going to do to get there? Whenever I mentor men, I'm always like, what are your short-term goals, your mid-term goals, and your long-term goals? Anybody I've mentored, you can ask them. I always say that. And it's like, what are you going to do to get there? Okay, you got your goals. What are you doing this week? What are you doing in the month? What are you doing in the year? And if you really want to be technical, what are you going to do in 5 years? What do you do? What's your plan? And the reality is, a lot of these women come to the table only with demands and have no duties to society or their husband. Let's not even get into society. They don't believe they owe society anything. They just come to the table and you give them stuff. Why do you give them stuff? Because they're pretty. Because I'm such a fun person to be around. Nobody likes you. You aren't funny. If you were, at least dudes would be like, yo, man, this chick is funny. No, nobody ever said that. You're not funny. You're not cool. You're not cool to be around. Nobody. What? So here's the other thing. If you know that you're an annoyance to most men, which they don't have the self-reflection to even say that, if you know you're an annoyance to most men, what do you do? Did you come to him and say, you know what? I can make your life better. I will assist you with your goals. I will clean your house. I'm going to do your dishes. I will have your babies. I'm going to homeschool your children so you don't got to worry about them going and being tainted by the world. No, 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 nothing. All about what they want, not what they provide. We can play more of this goof.
It feels like. And it's like, I don't want that. And I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be a part of that at all.
Okay, can we like really talk about for like 1 minute, like why are men not approaching women in the bars anymore? Like, are you guys really that scared? Because we strictly go to the bars because we literally want to be approached. Like, I'm not there just to like hang out with my friends. Like, yes, I want to see my friends, but like I am also there because I want to talk to people.
Whoa,
I feel like the
honesty.
whole like, oh, I've been rejected once and like now I'm terrified
Yeah,
is
that's-
crazy.
That's what we all effing say, and I'm like, okay, fine. Then you're never gonna like meet your wife.
No, right? Like, just try.
like have
like,
them being single,
have you guys not been rejected by other things in your life, like a job or whatever, like school?
and you keep applying. Like hello,
Like, we're not gonna bite. Like, we want to be approached and we want to talk to you. Like, just read the room.
you're gonna find the right girls that are either yes, I'll entertain you for the night, or I'll go out on a date with you, or I'll fucking marry you. Like
Literally.
at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter. It's just like fucking make a move, and who gives a fucking shit?
Because you're
If you
always gonna be in the same
decide.
spot. I also feel like you guys have to remember, like, all girls, all they want is to be in a relationship or to be married. Like, that's like a lot of girls' goals. So it's like, you can, like, if you're approaching the wrong girl, then yeah, she's probably gonna reject you. And like, I'm sorry if it's in a mean way, but like, at the same time, it's like, know what you're approaching and know what your league is in order to approach, and then
You know what?
make
Pause
sure that you
this.
guys like.
I can only
she's
take
looking
so
at you or
much
something. Don't just
stupidity.
like cold approach.
Here, I gotta address this. It's easy to tell a man what he should do when you never have to do it. It's easy for a woman to be like, just lift those bricks. They're only 1,000 pounds. Other men have done it. It should be easy. Now, here's what I will say. As a man, you should overcome your fears. As a man, if you cannot overcome your fears and approach a woman, I don't believe you should just be swiping on dating apps and just not have the ability to have any charisma and talk to a woman. I think you should get over that fear. And if fear is holding you back, I think you're letting yourself become a coward. I do believe that. But it's easy for women to say, why don't you guys approach us anymore? Well, yeah, it's very convenient for you to sit back and be like, oh, it's not that big of a deal when you've never had to done it. I remember approaching girls and girls laughing. I remember approaching girls and them saying, no, no, thank you. And then laughing in a way right when you can, as you walk away. If you've never dealt with that, it's completely earth shattering, and it will take your pride all the way down to zero, your confidence all the way down to zero. And what women don't understand is they never have to do it. So yeah, you can make a compliment, or you can make you can talk about it, something you've never done. But here's the other thing. Men are doing a cost analysis to see, hey, is it worth it? Because what they're essentially saying is, I think a lot of women, especially the younger generation, they don't understand how things sound from anybody else's perspective. They're essentially saying, if you just come up to me, I'll give you the joy of taking care of me for the rest of my life. And what does he get? What does he get? Because, okay, so if that's not enough for a good man, If you just come up and talk to me, I might go out on a date with you that you have to pay for, and I might complain, and I might be snarky, and then you got to drive me home and drive me back, and you don't get any sex, and you don't get... How is this a benefit to men? Because the players, the claviculars, the Andrew Tates, the red pill dudes, they sleep with you without going on a date. And men see this all the time. This is the thing about the internet. It has exposed a lot of women's nature. Why would a man who's worth anything, who's a nice guy, even a nice guy, why would he spend the time to waste money on you, taking you on a date for your presence? And you don't have any good conversation. You expect him to lead all the conversations, pay for the date, drive you back home, make sure you're safe, have charisma, be charming. What does he get for that? Can somebody lay out all the things he did? It's about 10 things named there that he did. And what do you do for him? And if you can't answer that question, that's why men are not approaching you. It's like, what's the point? You're not even feminine. Y'all not even willing to listen. If I say, hey, if I have a whole conversation and say, you know what? When we get married, here's are my expectations for a wife. And you get, expectations. I got to do dishes. I got to clean. I got to take care of kids. Yuck. Why would a man ever be with a girl? And that's most women nowadays. They do not want to do wifely duties at all. They don't want to do any duties. So why would a man sacrifice himself and put himself in a situation that he gets nothing from? You need to be thinking as a Christian woman, what do I offer a man? And if it's nothing, then you get nothing. I thought we had a comment or something.
Yeah, we got a comment here. Women go to the bar to compete with other women. That's facts. And you're going to the bar for one thing, not to find a wife.
Yeah, exactly. That's not where you go.
That's not where you go.
Women go there to get attention. And a smart man don't throw his best game at the bar. Because she's been hit with so much game, by the time you even walk up to her, she's like, another one. That's not how even a dude who's like a player, who all he does is talk about cold approaching women, will tell you the bar is not a great place to hit a woman. You can't hear. You can't really spit that well a game. You can't hear. The only good thing about not being able to hear is you can get close to somebody's ear. That's about it. But outside, being in a parking lot or being in a grocery store, much better place. Being in some hobby that you guys both share or something like that, much better. But the bar is not the place. If you expect to get hit on, most women want to get hit on at the bar for their own egos. They have no intentions of actually taking you serious. So you can play the rest of that.
Then you might get rejected. But like, just remember that girls want to be approached.
Excuse me. I'm sorry about that. No, I actually wanted to approach you. I was wondering if you have a boyfriend
Oh, I
or a
don't.
husband. You don't? What's your name?
Nice to meet you.
I'm Julian.
Nice to meet you. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm gonna be honest. Your body looks very amazing. I like going to the gym, so I just want to compliment you on that.
Oh, thank you so much. How old are you?
26.
Oh my god, I'm too old for you.
No, you're not. How old are you?
35.
That's okay. We can work that out. I'm a grown adult. I got my own stuff. I mean, we can go out on a date. We can see where we go from there. If you'd be up for it, if that's okay. You from Austin?
No, I just moved here back in December.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Austin's a great place. I'm from Seattle, Washington.
Oh, okay.
I moved here 6 months ago.
Wow.
What do you like to eat?
Oh, I like everything. Sushi,
Okay.
Mexican, anything.
Do you like barbecue?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, can I grab your number or Instagram?
Absolutely. Instagram might be easier.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay.
Ultimately. Yeah. Do you want kids one day? Or is that more of a question I should ask later?
Definitely. Just not at this point in my life. Just not at like this point.
What do you do? What do you do for them?
I am a chemist.
Really? Wow, that's okay. That's awesome. Okay. I actually been doing social media for like 5 years. I'm a streamer.
Okay.
That's what's in nowadays, you know what I mean? So that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, be your own boss.
Oh, that's amazing though. Chemist. Wow. Okay.
Oh, I don't want to work.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Yes,
you have a
definitely
beautiful smile.
Oh, thank you, sweetie. It's nice to meet you. I'll accept your
Okay.
request when I get
All
done.
right. Well, I'll leave you to it. I'll leave you.
Oh,
I just
okay,
wanted to approach you. You get your
Lucky, you guys do not
What
understand.
was that? And I thought that was a decent exchange because I think that guy did have a good conversation. He had some charisma. One thing I noticed about him though, he was looking down, which means he's taller than her.
Yeah.
Probably a lot taller by the
Probably a
angle.
lot, yeah.
Yeah. But he did have some charisma. You cannot be scared to approach a woman. I want men to understand that too. So what? She shoots you down. So what? You only need one. You don't need a bunch. It's 100 more in a mile radius that you could talk to. Don't be scared. So the next point. Here, let me pull up my notes real quick. I think it's a video. Oh yeah, show the comments from that video we just watched.
Yeah.
The girl crying.
Yeah. So we got some comments here, the responses from X, I think it is, and it's who you yelling at? That's the first one, and then my favorite is the one with the man and the bear sitting together on the couch eating popcorn and laughing.
They love that bear.
They love that bear. And then there's this dude like, what? And
this
then
is like all responses
right.
from the first video.
Yeah, and
where
then
that girl was screaming.
Yeah, and then can you stop yelling at me? I mean, yeah, she was just yelling. She was going on a rant. Nothing
of substance there.
She
Just
was
complaining to the void.
Yeah, she was just being loud.
We can go to that next video that's right under there.
Oh, okay.
So I want y'all to just look at it. It was very short. Mr. Producer, read that.
I recently turned 38 years old, but I'm still single. Men don't ask me out on dates. Do I look bad?
I'm going through the internet for reassurance. Now, here's the thing. I want anybody watching. Is she ugly? She's not ugly. What does that tell you? She's how old did it say she was? 38?
Yeah, 38.
She's not ugly at 38. Here's the problem with that. When men see that you're not hideous and you've reached past 35, there is something wrong with you. Because multiple men will approach you just like that dude did at the grocery store. That I'm guarantee you that's happened to her 100 times, probably 100 times within a month. I can guarantee you, men are the hunters. We're going to let you, especially if we think you're attractive. Men will come up to you and be like, hey, what's your name? They will do it. The question is, why is it out of the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of men that approach you, you couldn't pick one good one by the age of 38 years old? Is that a problem with men? Is that a problem? And she's still on the wrong track. Am I still attractive? It's not about your attraction, baby girl. It's not about your attraction. It is about your attitude and what you provide to that man. So I'm sure she's had past boyfriends. Why didn't she make it work with them? Why didn't she make it work with him? There's a reason. She did not do what it takes to keep that relationship together. Maybe she selected bad men because she's attracted to bad men, or maybe she had good men and she could not do what it takes to keep a good man. That's the only two options. That's the only two options. And the max amount of relationships that I will give a girl before I'm like, yeah, this is a done deal is 3. If you don't have 3 relationships that lasted a decent amount of time, 6 months to a year, and you still can't make it work, the problem's you. Because men are not hard to please. We really not. You feed us, you do what you know you supposed to do. We happy. We're happy. It is not hard to please a man. So the fact that you can't get a man past 38, the problem, my mom used to always say, when it's a bunch of problems around you, you may be the common denominator. Yeah, she's a common denominator. What's the next video we got over there? And we're still in a section where we're discussing why women think that this sober movement, what has led up to this sober
I think
boy
I found
movement,
it. Here we
or
go.
boy sober movement. Yeah, it's the next one under that, yeah.
It's really hard to get your hopes up about somebody and then have it not work out. I'm not crying over a man. I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I kind of am, but I also haven't eaten, so I'm emotional. But this is just going to be a really vulnerable post, I guess. I'm trying really hard to put myself out there. I am putting myself out there. But I feel like I don't find a lot of people that I'm interested in, or that I'm attracted to, or that there's that connection in a multitude of ways. And so when you finally do find somebody like that and it doesn't work, I don't want to say I'm gutted. That's too strong. I'm actually okay. Despite this, I'm actually okay.
No, she ain't.
But it is disappointing because you get excited. Then you have to rally and you have to put yourself back out there. And Merlin's series trying to make me feel better.
There's the cat.
Yes, has to be a cat.
I don't know what I'm saying. I'm bummed, and dating gets me down sometimes, and I'm trying to practice what I preach and do everything the right way and meet people in person or on apps. I don't care. I'm not going to discriminate at this point, even though I think the apps suck. But I just really want my person. I'm really tired of being alone. And people will say, like, you will find it when you least expect it. But, like, how are you going to find something if you're not looking, if you're not putting it out there? So I am putting it out there. I'm going through the motions. I'm doing the work. And I just have to remember that I'm not in control and I can only do what I can do. But that really sucks. And I feel like I constantly oscillate between seeing, happy single women on here who are going, pick your partner wisely and just wait and just stay single and everything's fine. And I get that and I believe that, but I think about how happy I've been in my partnerships when I've had them and when they were good. And I miss that feeling so badly. And I don't want to date from a point of desperation because it's not that. And I'm not going to pick somebody just to have somebody. But I'm really tired.
I laugh because, look, this is a problem of their own making, these women. And here's the thing. If you listen to what she said and analyze it, one of the things she said is her standards are way too high. I can't find any men that I'm attracted to. Second thing is, she did not go into any of the reasons why her past relationships failed that were on her. And women have a really hard time doing this. They always will find a way out and a way to blame somebody else. But where did you hear in that conversation that she did anything wrong that she's analyzing? Women love talking about going to therapy and all this stuff. But it's funny, all this therapy and they still can't be held accountable for anything. No accountability whatsoever. All this therapy y'all doing, y'all therapists don't never tell y'all, hey, stop and be accountable. You never hear a video of a woman coming out and say, I was messed up. I started a relationship with men I shouldn't have. I was a bad person. I had a bad attitude. I was very naggy. I shouldn't have talked to him in the disrespectful tone I did. I was always insecure and I was constantly putting my insecurities on him. None of these things. You don't see videos like that. It's always just magically that things just happen. Relationships just disintegrate in front of my eyes. It's never any self-reflection of what I did to contribute to my situation. And that's part of the problem. You think that relationships just happen. Listen to how they talk about it, contextualize it. My person will come. These things will just happen to me. No, you have to work towards a relationship, especially a godly one, which I don't assume that any of these women are godly. But if you're going to be a Christian woman, you definitely have to work towards, because you're looking for a spiritual leader. You're not just looking for a willy-nilly dude to lay down in the sheets with. You're actually looking for somebody who will lead you and your family. So if you're going to do that, he's going to hold you accountable. Plenty of times, oftentimes, because he's your spiritual leader, he's going to hold you more accountable than you will him. Women don't want to hear that. He's your spiritual leader, which means he knows more than you. He should, if you're looking for him to lead. He's your spiritual leader, which means you're going to be going to him for leadership, not other men, which means he's going to hold you accountable. And if you don't have any self-reflection, That's going to be very bad. When you find a good man, you're going to label him toxic. You're going to label him controlling. You're going to say he thinks he knows too much because he's just trying to spiritually lead you, and you have never made yourself worthy of having a spiritual leader. You aren't ready for a good man because you're not a good woman. We can go to the next video.
We had a comment on
Go ahead.
on this one. It's great for content, but why do people post everything?
I don't know.
And that's in those first 2 videos. I'm wondering
Dude.
what, or first 3. Why? Why are you
They
doing
do.
this?
I know why, but it ain't worth it for me. For instance, a lot of women post things for sympathy. Other women, if you look at the comments, which we will show, when you look at the comments, other women will come and say, "Oh, poor baby, you're not doing anything wrong. You're perfect the way you are." They do it for sympathy, but that sympathy is like digging the hole even deeper that they can't dig out of because it reassures them that their bad behavior is good. There is nothing wrong with them, and women believe it. How do I know? Because look at a woman's self-help books that's out there. You're perfect in every way. It'll be right on the cover. You've done nothing wrong all your life, and you're perfect in every way. Shine bright like a diamond. They have no flaws whatsoever. And then you wonder when they soak up all this stuff why they're terrible and their relationships always fail. You can't be in a relationship and you don't say sorry ever. I have talked to men who have been married for 20 years and said their wife don't never say sorry. How does that work? What? That's insane to me. I can't fathom living like that. But it's some men out there who are weak, mind you. This is part of their problem that they created. They living like that. Is there a next? It's a next video right after that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't fathom living like that, man. Listen to this broad story.
It was good. And then yet, like, I'm just tired of, like, I don't know. The bill came.
She's
The
on
bill
a date.
didn't come. He asked for the bill. And in French, he said 2 bills. And then so they came. And I was like, if someone says, I want to take you out, then I want to be taken out, which means to me to pay and whatever. So we did that. I paid and it's fine. And then after I was honest and I just said it, like, I don't know. Cause I said like, yeah, I thought you were going to take me out. And like, to me, that means pay. And then suddenly his English wasn't so good anymore. When he was like, I don't understand what you mean. I was honest and like, whatever, what else do I have to lose? I just want to be honest because there's a way that I want to be treated. And like, I might as well just tell someone, like, what else do I have to lose? I don't know. And then like afterwards, he was like, next time I'll pay. Like unprompted, he said that after we were having another conversation. I said, okay. And then he said, are you free this week? And I said, yeah. And then I texted him after and I'm like,
Another
I had
cat.
a nice
Cat
time,
again.
thanks. And then he read it and didn't respond. And it's like, okay, I don't know. Like, I'm just tired of... I'm happy I was honest.
Look, she can barely hold it
But
together.
like, I just like want a fucking gentleman.
Now,
on a date
this
and it's
story's
like-
kind of old, and what happened is people found her page, and she's like a flaming libtard. Isn't that funny? How much sense do it make to be a liberal woman, go out with a liberal French man at that, wee and all that, go out with a liberal French man and expect him to be a masculine individual? You chose him because he was a liberal. And then when he do liberal weak man stuff, you surprised. This is why I always say, we as men, if you got daughters, you must be involved in choosing. You have to. I'm not saying you just make the choice like a child marriage arrangement. I'm saying you must have some say in who your daughter chooses, because look at the dumb choices that some of these women make. They will ruin their whole life, dude. They'll be around a liberal dude like Destiny and be sexually attracted and have sex with him. They'll have sex with women. Even the word, the phrase, they'll have sex with Destiny. Women will do that. You have to have a father in your life, man. Look at, you don't want to end up like Lauren Southern. You don't want to end up like that. A rumor is she's back with Destiny. What?
What?
Yes. Rumor is she's back with Destiny. So it kind of goes along the same theme. When bad things happen to her, You think I'm gonna feel sorry? I can't wait to laugh. I am storing up laughter right now when that relationship fails. I can't wait to laugh. Ooh, I can't wait to laugh. But anyways, women like that have chosen a liberal man, and then they want him to be a masculine, conservative, traditional dude. It don't work like that. We can go to the. Did we have? Oh, we had some comments on the video. We was gonna go
Yeah.
over.
Yeah. So these are going to be the comments. So this first one is from he was a little bitch. Be glad he showed you his colors. You deserve better and you will find him. Salty Sammy says, wow.
Well, you know what? Before we even get to the next
oh,
comment,
okay, yeah.
notice
Wow.
that she wanted a liberal man. She got a 50-50 liberal dude, and he's the one that's a bitch. Ain't that what you wanted? Come on, dude. You know, like, and I'm not even saying I hate liberal men. I hate these liberal blue-haired feminist dudes. With all of my being, I hate them. But if you go and choose one, what do you expect, lady? But he's still a bad guy, even though you knew what you was getting into? Okay, you can go to the next one.
So, Salty Sammy, if I ask my friends to breakfast, lunch, dinner, or coffee, I always pay. Splitting on a date is heinous. It's a measurement of what kind of man he will be when you're pregnant and a mom and can't work.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Liberal women don't get pregnant anyway. They kill their kids. So we don't have to worry about that. What's the next one?
She deserves better from Candyland.
Why does she, and this is something women always say. And it disgusts me because how do we know she deserves better? How? We don't know her. We don't know if she was terrible to conversate with at the date. We don't know if she smelled bad. Maybe her breath was straight kicking. Like kung fu. What if you don't know? What if she was just a terrible person and she was terrible to we don't know what she deserved. Why do all women just deserve good men? That's not the case. We don't know her. You can read the next.
Auto Violin has a comment. Commented on that. Said, "If someone said that they want to take me out, I think something nefarious was about to happen."
So he's just a bad guy for wanting to take her out. Okay. Now I think men should pay for the first date. I absolutely do, and I did with my wife. Part of it is I am taking you out. I'm showing you I'm going to be a leader. I am establishing, I lead, you follow. And I'm showing you that during our marriage, during our relationship, I'm going to take care of things. That's what a man does. The issue that I think is women want all the traditional values of men to be upheld, but none of the traditional values of women to be upheld. And you're like, okay, well, what do you do for all this? If a man's taking you out on a date, it used to be this. Back in the day, 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s. A man takes you out on a date. He asks your father. First of all, he asks your father if he could take you out on a date. Then he take you out on a nice date. Y'all go get something cheap, like hamburger, where they was on roller skates in the 1950s. Hamburger fries. Go see a drive-in movie. Y'all remember that type of thing. That was a date. And then he would bring you back before 9, before it even got dark outside sometimes, to your father's house. And you might have a kiss before you go in. And that was traditional. It was like, I'm courting you, preparing you for marriage. When he got married, the man would work, come home. The wife would take his shoes off and rub his feet, have dinner ready. There was something women did that they were expected to do. She took care of the kids. They were all just sent off to daycare. She wore nice dresses all day. There was no sweatpants in the 1930s and 40s and 50s. She wasn't walking around in frumpy looking clothes all day. Not saying you can't do that, women, or that's some type of sin, but I'm saying these were the standard. There was apple pie on the windowsill. She was baking. She was good at cooking. She had her own cookbooks. She got the kids ready for church. There were things that were expected of women. And then you get to the 1970s and sexual liberation, and you don't have to do none of that stuff to get sex. You just go out to a party or whatever, and you just go home with a girl. Then things start to deteriorate. And now, 40, 50, 60 years later, women are saying they're just as strong as men. They can do everything men can do. They should get paid as much as a man. Matter of fact, all men are trash. Wage gap and all these other lies. And then they don't want a man to go 50-50. It don't work like that. You offer nothing that the other women used to offer? That don't make no sense. We can go to the next one.
There's a video, I think, to play here.
Okay.
Yeah, let me see what it is.
The last day I walked out of the restaurant mid-date before we even finished our food, crying, like bawling my eyes out. He saw me come back from the bathroom crying, and he didn't even care. He looked happy. He looked like he accomplished his goal by making me cry. So basically this guy was like pressing me for all these really deep and personal questions when it's like, I don't even know who you are. I'm not going to share all this information to you. Like, what? He was basically like, let's skip the small talk and like get to the real stuff, which is such a cringy, icky thing to say.
Why? Why is that cringy?
And he was asking me like what my childhood was like. He was asking me where I see myself in like 25 years, 5 years, 10 years. He was asking me like what my career trajectory looks like and my passion. Passion's like an okay question. But all these other ones are insane. Like
the reason why she's cool with passion being an okay question is because it's nothing, and women like to talk about nothing a lot of the times. It doesn't mean anything. But the other questions were cutting to who you really are and what your character is, and he didn't want to waste any time with a crazy woman. That's why he would ask a question like that. He was asking character questions. And a woman who has character wouldn't have any problem. Like, oh, this is what I plan to do. I plan to be married in this amount of years. I want to have this many kids. That's not a bad thing for a man to cut to the chase and be like, yeah, listen, I don't want to waste no time. I did that with my wife. I was like, yo, I'm just letting you know off the bat. I want to stay pure before marriage. I don't want to be doing all that goofy stuff. I date for marriage. I don't play around. So at the moment that we start, all goofy stuff come out, it's going to be done. If I see you not fit for marriage, we're done. Now, obviously, I have more tact and charisma than that. But the reality is, I was cutting to the chase. I didn't have time to waste. And too many women want to sit there, have a date on your expense, and not talk about anything that matters. I want to know your politics. I want to know if you think it's okay to kill my future children. That sounds very important, and I don't want to waste no time at the 5th date finding out you're cool with abortion, and then I got to cut it off after I put, $500, $150 dates under my belt. No. Let's get that out the way. Honestly, you can do those things over the phone or in DMs or whatever. I will advise that. Like, yo, where do you stand on this? You can ask, and if they not cool answering, she ain't the woman for you, straight up. But you can play the rest.
This isn't a job interview. It's a first date, and we should just be like warming up to each other and like seeing if we like get along. So I set a boundary, and I was like, I don't feel comfortable sharing all this information about myself, and he got really bothered by it, and he kept kind of like poking me with it. And at one point he was like, well, if you don't want to share any of this about yourself, like you shouldn't be going out on dates, and you're like wasting my time.
I bet you
and
he
then he
asked her
proceeds
something
to
about
come
her
up with
body
like
count.
these insults towards me, saying like I don't have
probably.
any of my like life figured out or together. And it's like, a man should absolutely not ever treat a woman that way.
What way?
A man shouldn't ever tell a woman that she doesn't have her proper career figured out.
Please pause
I'm 21 years old.
Why? Wait, what's the specifics about you being a woman that would make that inappropriate? Why would it? So a man should never ever tell a woman that she's not where she should be in life? Ever? Why? Why not? Why can't a man hold a woman accountable and say, "Hey, you know what? This conversation is not going that good. You are not a good fit for me." Or what if he said, "Hey, you don't seem like you got all your goals together, young lady." Now I wouldn't see probably wouldn't say young lady because they're probably similar in age. I'm saying that as a father figure. Well, you don't got all your goals together, girl. Like it don't seem like you really got your head on straight. It is nothing wrong with that. For one, if it's true, it's true. Why would I not say that? Like, especially if you like tilly-tallying and dancing around the real questions. It sounds like she didn't want to answer any personal question. Like I said before, I bet you he answered something about past boyfriends or body count. I bet you
I
he
bet
did.
you, yeah,
And
probably.
then she was like, "Well, I'm not going to tell him it's 255. It's just none of his business." Well, if he's going to be investing in you, I bet you he's going to care. And a lot of girls want to come and get their little free meal and not be questioned. I bet you he paid for everything. We could play it.
He didn't ask me how I graduated from college early. He didn't ask me about my college experience. He didn't ask me about my traveling experience.
Who cares?
He didn't ask me about the sports I played. Like, I feel like that's pretty good, like, first date deep talk, right? I don't know. It's just weird he didn't ask me any questions about myself now. It was almost like he was trying to profile me and, like, get information to, like, manipulate me or something. I don't know. There was something really off about him. So anyways, at that point, when he was telling me like I shouldn't go out on dates and insulting me, I went to the bathroom, I started crying. A lady in the bathroom was like, "Just leave." I was like, "I can't do that. Like, I wouldn't just leave someone. Like, that's kind of mean." And when I walked back to the table and he gave me that look and he didn't even care, like he did not care that he was making me cry. He looked happy that he was making me cry.
This goes to show you.
So I just left. I walked out and my friend came and picked me up. So yeah. The last date I went on, I walked out of the restaurant mid-date
And here's
before
why
we
you
even
know she
finished our
lost. You wanna
food,
pause that.
crying. Like,
She tried to use crying to manipulate him and it didn't work. That's what happened. She said he didn't even care that I was crying. Wait, if you crying, you should be crying because of whatever you're going through. Why does he have to care? Unless you're trying to use it to manipulate him. A lot of times, women will use crying to manipulate men. Why are you crying on a date? You said you went to the bathroom. You should have cleaned that stuff up. Unless you wanted him to see that you were crying and you wanted to use it to stop the questions that you didn't feel comfortable with. You were using it as a manipulation tactic and it didn't work. He was probably like, I'm not interested in this girl anymore. She said her body count was 255. I'm looking at her Instagram and she got her booty right on out in every one of her pictures. No, I'm not. So he probably did some research and was like, let me ask some questions to get this out the way. I don't think anything's wrong with that. So I don't know. Is it another video right after that?
We've got some comments after.
Yeah, show those.
Okay. Yao. First dates should be a vibe check for common interests or goals.
Watch how all the women will reinforce this.
He was definitely trying to manipulate you into caving. He wanted you to question your own values so that maybe you'd want his approval.
Yeah, that's what he was doing. Of course.
Instead of crying, you should have started laughing, said thank you for showing me who you are, and called an Uber after an Uber, leaving him with the bill. The only people who attack others are insecure little people who need to bring others down to elevate themselves.
Is that true? This is why they don't learn, because even in that situation, they don't look at that situation and say, what can I learn from this? Or let me look at his perspective or anything. It's just, he's a bad guy. Everything you're doing is right. Nothing you could have done better. Not even asking, hey, how did you meet this guy? Or nothing. Just everything you did was correct. Everything he did was wrong. You go, girl. Like, oh, okay, well, she's going to fall into this situation. eventually, if a dude is going to take you serious, he's going to ask you questions about your past. And you say, well, it's just the first date. If you're uncomfortable answering them on the first date, what makes you think you're going to be comfortable answering them on the third date?
Exactly. Because it's going to come up at some
It's
point in
going to
time.
come up.
It's just going to come up.
Yeah, come on now. Is there a section?
Oh,
what we got?
Oh, we've got one
Sorry,
more
I can-
comment from
Yeah,
from
go
it
ahead.
was like, I feel bad for today's youth, but it's always been awkward and hard.
Yeah. It's always been awkward and hard, but it's gotten even more awkward and even more hard. Because a lot of these women, we're going to go over some statistics, are into some nefarious practices. And a lot of these women are on psychological medication. And a lot of these men have gotten weak. And a lot of these men don't know how to stand up for themselves. And a lot of these men don't know. And so get so excited by the sheer idea of a girl touching their wee-wee. They don't know how to think. So yes, it's problems on both sides. Today we're dealing with a lot of the boy sober movement problems. But in other videos, we definitely deal with all of them. So is there a video under that?
Yes, I found a video underneath it here. Let's go ahead and play that one.
Locking in because I'm almost 24, no rich husband in sight, I'm expensive and need to live in New York City ASAP. I'm in my grind era. They all think they're in some TV show and they're the main character. You're 24 and you actually have to work. Wow, you're not a child. Welcome to becoming an average adult.
Yes.
And it's getting harder and harder to like men. No, I think it's you. You should take accountability. Maybe you're just an unlikable.
I like RC,
Tinder's
man.
implementing a height filter to allow women to filter out men below their preferred height. Now implement a weight filter to allow men to filter out women above their preferred weight so they don't get fooled by the photoshopped pictures just to find out in person that she's a double XL queen. When you type black mother with her children on Google Images, you'll get a bunch of pictures of a black mother with her black children. When you do Asian mother with her children, you'll get a bunch of Asian mothers with her Asian children. But when you do white mother with her children, it's the only race that comes up with a white mother and a bunch of mixed children. Why do you think that is? When someone asks if you see yourself getting married, but you're fully convinced that every single man is evil, so you're assuming all black men are evil, gay men, Jewish men, trans men? Well, that not only makes you transphobic, it makes you racist, homophobic, anti-Semitic, and also sexist. That's so tough. Locking in.
He used their logic against them. But look, these are things that they're freely posting online. He's not making this material up. He's just looking at TikTok like we all do, and they're posting this stuff outright. Is there was there comments after that one?
No, not for that one. No, we go straight to a scripture.
Okay,
reading
yeah,
after
read that for us.
Yeah.
Put that on.
So this is coming from Romans 12 too. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect.
The reason why I like this verse in the context of what we're talking about is too many women are conformed to this world. They're not thinking about what God wants for them in marriage or what God wants for them to serve their husband. They're thinking about what I can get out of it. They're so conformed to this world that they don't even know the appeal of marriage. They know what the appeal of a wedding is, but they don't know and they don't believe that God created them with certain duties to their husband, duties to society. They don't believe that. So they're so conformed to this world that they don't even understand that, yes, you do have a purpose in marriage. It's not just all fun and feeling good. That's not what God created you for, to just go off and try to find a man who makes you feel good 100% of the time. And then it also says this in this verse. By testing, you may discern what is the will of God. If you're a woman out there, are you discerning what the will of God is for your future relationships? Or are you just jumping from relationship to relationship because it feels good? What is good and acceptable and perfect? If you're in a relationship, and if you hit the age of 35 and up and you don't have any kids and you ain't trying to get married, but you just trying to have wine parties and and go around and have a Sex in the City lifestyle, is that what God has discerned for your life? How do you feel? Especially, I'm talking to Christians now. For the women who you can't submit to a man, You just can't find a man where you're not combative and not argumentative. This is a you problem. We can go to the next section. Let me see. So, yeah, you want to read that next section?
Yep. So we're talking about promiscuity now. Promiscuity does not produce relationship satisfaction. So modern culture promotes casual sex as freedom, but research has consistently found a relationship between higher numbers of sexual partners and lower marital stability.
That's true. They call it pair bonding.
And in the United Kingdom, they looked at some undergraduates in college over in the United Kingdom. Over 10% knew of students engaged in sex work. That's prostitution.
That's crazy.
Escorting, lap dancing, stripping for financial reasons.
So this potentially could be far over 10%.
Oh, sure. It could be.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the absolute highest reported rates in this demographic, look to the Northern California survey that was done. That showed approximately 9%. And in Germany, in a Berlin student survey, 7%.
So this is talking about the amount of women from age 18 to 24 that were involved in sex work. And that's what I put in, and I asked them, hey, what are some of the rates that would show the highest rates of women that were in there? And the thing about it is, that's crazy, is that's 10% of women who, in my opinion, for godly men, are completely disqualified. No real godly man would want and have a first choice for their wife to be somebody who was involved in sex work of any kind. And that's not wrong for them to say. I did a skit before where the pastor was trying to get this man to marry Bonnie Blue. And it's like, that's what men are literally dealing with. Think of 10% is a huge section.
It is.
10%? Think, you gather 10 women and one of them, and probably, and here's the other thing, that one of them was involved in sex work, and here's the thing people don't want to hear. It's probably the most attractive one, because the most attractive one is the one who's going to get paid off sex work the most. And it's not always like that, but if you're a fat, frumpy, goofy-looking chick, the chances that you're in sex work and going to get paid from sex work are not that high. But the one who's attractive, there's a possibility that has more of a chance for her to be in sex work, because she knows she can get paid off her body. And it's crazy to think about this generation, 1 out of 10 women. That's insane, dude. And people always talk, well, men need to step up. What the heck? So 1 out of 10 of the girls you got to choose from was on OnlyFans? That's crazy. So, is that you want to read the statistics part?
Oh yeah, sure. So this is kind of revealing and interesting here. So women with 0 to 1 very low premarital partners historically show lower divorce rates than women with many partners. That just reinforces all that. And we found that those were from those two sources. They did a study, the Institute for Family Studies and the National Survey of Family Growth came up with those statistics there.
Yeah, go ahead and play that video, because it applies to this.
Your body though.
Well, if it's meant to be, you'll wait. Yeah. You trying to see?
What do you mean by restore your body though?
Like, I was a part of a lot of crazy stuff in the past few weeks, and so I'm like resetting my body.
What do you mean by that?
Resetting my body, like I made out with too many people.
Made out.
And what else?
And what else? Well, I have fun. I like to. Do you like to?
How many people does that entail?
A lot.
It depends on the energy.
No, like how many people are we talking about?
How many? No, it's nothing crazy.
What does nothing crazy mean?
Nothing crazy. It's okay. Nothing crazy. I have a secret life. like a secret life off camera.
Let me explain something to y'all. If you notice something, and this goes to show you a lot of these women's character. At the beginning of the conversation, she was all willing to give out this information, which lets me know a couple of things. That when she's told other men this information, they did not have such a harsh reaction. She probably said, "Oh yeah, you like to have fun, yo. That's totally fine. Good for you." There's probably a bunch of simp dudes around who was probably telling her, "Oh yeah, you live your life, girl." But the more and more the conversation went on with Clavicular, she saw he was not responding positively. And then she started giving out less and less information. Did anybody notice that?
Yeah, it was like, whoa, all of a sudden it just shifted and
Yes, you could see her eyes studying his
you could totally
face.
see it. Yeah, you could
Yep.
totally see it.
You could see her eyes studying his face, and she's like, wait a second, he's not down with this. He's not down with me. So it's I don't know the exact number. I don't know. I like to have fun. And the more and more he prodded, you could see if he was cool with it and down from it, she would have told him. She would have been like, yeah, I probably had sex with about 18 guys this week. She would have said something like that. But since women are more socially aware than us, they're far more socially, that's one thing they got on us. You can't take that away from them. They know when people are looking at them with a certain look, or if the feeling is not right, they know. Even my wife can just be like, hey, something is off. She just knows. The women have an ability to discern the feels way more than we do. So she, in the middle of that conversation in real time, was discerning he is not down with me being a whore. So I might have to, I really like this guy though. So I don't want to give him too much information. I misjudged him at first and thought he was going to be cool with me having sex with all these dudes, but now he's not. And sure enough, he walked off. Maybe he was asking too many harsh questions for the first date.
And she said, I have a secret life.
Yeah, just
yeah.
Little stuff to let you know. Like, and this is what I've always said for men. One of the ways you can tell if a woman is a whore or not, or if a woman has a promiscuous past, how easily does she talk about sex? When you ask her, like I've seen women just be so frivolous talking about sex. I sucked off this dude and this, that, and yeah, and me and my boyfriend used to do anal. Yeah, she's a whore. She's a whore because sex is supposed to be sacred, and especially to women, because they're the receivers and we're the givers, and they have way more to lose than we do. So if a woman is just frivolously talking like that about her, not even necessarily with the sexual act she does, but about sex in general. If she's talking that frivolously about that, that's a definite indicator. Women who are not whores don't just talk about sex like that. Yeah, I F this guy. They don't talk like that. Sex is still sacred to them. So they don't just talk in a way where it diminishes the value of sex. When a woman can do that, even if they're talking about their friends, and then you don't see no disgust in their voice or shame in their voice, yeah, that's you dealing with a whore. That's a tidbit for you. That's just some facts. Anyways, we got another one, or did we have some more information?
We got one more video here.
Yeah, all this is addressing
all the leaks. Wow, you get to make fun of me because you saw me naked.
You know what? Pause that real quick and rewind it. All of this is addressing how promiscuity in this generation is so prevalent.
People look at me as an object. I made a bunch of money selling my body. Yes, I did. You guys saw the leaks. Wow, you get to make fun of me because you saw me naked. Woo, wow. I ruined my life. I can't do anything about that.
She fucked Cuff'em? Oh.
What the fuck do you want?
What a roster. Cuff'em and Shuvie.
And now nobody wants to be in a relationship with me because of that. And okay, I'm screwed.
Look how
I will never be in love.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone always wants... This is the reality of someone that does OnlyFans and shit like that. Yeah, no shit, no one wants you. And you don't have to show your body, dude. People are in so much worse scenarios than this bitch. Oh, you were getting kicked out of your house?
I'll never.
What will you do? Get naked on the internet?
This is what's going on. You got women. She doesn't look a day over 18. talking about
She looks really young. Yeah.
yeah, and she's talking about all the dudes she's effed on the internet, and everybody knows. And then she's did OnlyFans, and she's put out her nudes on it. This is insane. At 18, and this is not like you would think. Oh, that's just you found somebody who was outside the norm. No, this generation, this is a normal thing. Sharing your nudes and videotaping your sexual escapades. This is normal. How do you think Destiny got so many women to do it? He's in legal trouble now because he had sex with multiple women and videotaped it without their knowledge, allegedly. How can he find so many women who are willing to do it? He's not that famous, dude. He's not. He's a streamer.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so it's like if a streamer can do it, imagine what Drake is doing. Imagine what Chris Brown is doing. You know, so it's like it is very prevalent. So I think it's scripture next.
We've got something from Hebrews. Yeah.
Yeah, go
I'll
ahead.
read that. So Hebrews 13:4 says, "Let marriage be held in honor among all, and let the marriage bed be undefiled."
I like that because that is the verse that addresses all this promiscuity that women have been taught that you can go and live your promiscuous life with no consequences. And the world is showing us over and time again, even with the Abba and Preach situation, mostly Abba, it's been shown. You cannot do whatever you want and have no consequences to your life. When you stray away from God's design, you will have dire consequences in one way or another. The Bible says it like this: beware, your sins will find you out. Whoremongers and adulterers, God will judge. You don't get to just live however you want and have no consequence. It will catch up to you in some way. And for women, it takes even more of a mental toll on them. I'm gonna tell you what it does for men and women. For women, it takes a mental toll for some man to use you like a piece of meat and discard you. It will mentally destroy a woman. How do I know? Because the actual payment that men have to pay is that crazy women will come after you and try to destroy you. If you sleep around with multiple women, one of them, at least one for every 3, will come back and try to destroy your life simply because it is built into a woman's mind. I had sex with you, you owe me something. I had sex with you, you should take care of me. I have sex with you, you owe me a relationship. And if they don't get what they want, they will ruin your life, whether it be false accusations, whether it be baby trapping, whether it be trying to destroy your character, trying to destroy you financially. They will come after you for something. Every man who has been sexually promiscuous will tell you that. Myron Gaines almost got baby trapped. Fresh and Fit almost got baby trapped. And both of them, they tried to use that information the women did to destroy their livelihood. Alba, their enemy, got what, 4 different women now saying they had his babies and he had abortions, trying to they all of them uniting like Optimus Prime to try to destroy him, like one of the Thundercats, to try to destroy this man's livelihood. Because women do not try to leave a relationship after you had sex with them without saying, I'm taking something. They just don't do it. So if you a man and you think you just gonna, Andrew Tate, another one, came to try to destroy his life. Every man who has lived a promiscuous lifestyle, you will have an accusation from a woman, because women do not like when you have sex with them and you're not taking care of their whole life. And even if you are taking care of their whole life, what about Ashley Sinclair? Elon Musk's baby mama. She's going on this campaign trying to badmouth Elon Musk, one of the richest men on the planet, who gave her like $1 million a month allowance or some crap like that. Still, since she's not with him, since she's not the main girl, since he had sex with her and left her, she's trying to destroy his life. That is something that men have to worry about. We can go to the next point.
Okay. This is about selfishness. Selfishness is destroying relationships. So modern dating, as we're kind of talking about here today, it often emphasizes 3 basic points here: personal happiness, self-fulfillment, and what can I get?
Yep.
But biblical marriage emphasizes sacrifice, service, and commitment. The complete opposite of all that stuff.
And when do you see that ever talked about with these women on TikTok?
You don't.
Sacrifice,
It's rare.
service, and commitment. They don't sacrifice at all. They don't give no service. They don't. It's never what you can do for you. It's as he should type mentality.
Right.
And then no commitment either. I will leave you and take half your stuff, like Louder Crowder's wife did. This is the type of women that are in this generation. If we don't correct it as Christian men, they're gonna keep running amok. You can read that scripture.
So this is from Philippians. Philippians 2, 3-4. Do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves.
Absolutely. I think that's something both the husband and wife can put to practice in marriage. Do nothing from selfish ambition. If you're a husband, you ought to put your wife's needs above your own. If you're a wife, you ought to put your husband's needs above your own. The two will meet in the middle. If you're both living by that and trying to please God rather than please your own selfish desires, you will have a great marriage. You'll have a great marriage because most of the time, divorces don't come from people just not being on the same page. It don't come from that stuff. It comes from 2 selfish people that can't get things together and can't put their differences aside for a common goal. Common goal should be pleasing God. But they can't put those aside, and then they get divorced. And then they wonder, oh, well, why is my next relationship having the same downfall? Because you never fixed the problems of the first one. We are now getting into the boy sober videos. What have women come up with? What movement is this? Well, this next lady, I think she's going to tell us all about what the boy sober movement is. You know where we at?
I see some comments here. I don't see the videos yet.
If you go back up to that Philippians scripture.
Yep.
And the video right under that. Yep.
Found it. Okay, found it. I just thought that was just a hashtag. Got it.
Voiceover. What is it? Let's talk about it. Let's have a girly one-on-one chat. Don't click off. So you may or may not be aware that the term voiceover is going viral on TikTok for like the past year or so. Now, I myself had no idea what it was to be boy sober, okay? I was merely a girl on her healing journey, okay? That was integrating some things and had this intuitive download come into her head one day. Rachel, you should be celibate for a year. I had no idea what the term voiceover meant. I had no idea that this was a movement of women that were getting tired of dating and of men and men derailing their lives and basically centering your entire life around a man. See, I believe our generation of men have gotten kind of selfish to themselves, don't really care to treat women in a way that is like gentlemanly, a lot of you, and then are just like not really there like we need them to be, like the feminine wants them to be there for. And even generation years ago, girl, okay, you know, we're in the kitchen, we're cooking up a storm, or maybe taking, you know, God knows what that your psychiatrist prescribed because you're sick and tired of vacuuming the house all day. I could vacuum the house all day, but I would probably make you hire a maid, and then I would also probably just like go do fun things instead of vacuuming the house all day. But that's just me, and I like to keep it fun and flirty, okay? But here's the thing is, when we are putting all of our attention onto the men, has he texted me back? has he called me back? How many dates has he invited me on? Are we going to be official? You center your entire life around a man. You forget about yourself. Okay? I was finding myself, like, looking back at years. Like, okay, this is Rachel back in 2000 whatever. Oh my god, you're going to the gym. Oh my god, you look like a goddess. Oh my god, you have a six-pack. Oh my god. Like, you are making near 4 points in college. Oh my god, you are on your grind. Oh my god, you have so much money in the bank. What was going on? You did not have a boyfriend. And then what happens when you get a boyfriend? You forget about yourself, girl. You forget about yourself. Actually, I was on a healing journey recently. Like, I really want a healthy relationship. Funny, the healthiness starts right here, baby. It starts with loving yourself, going after your goals, setting healthy boundaries, self-love, not accepting anything lower than. Okay? All right, ladies? If you're so desperately wanting that relationship, go pour into yourself and maybe be boy sober, because I will admit to you, it is a hard boy market out here, man market. And we have to have standards that are super high, okay? And y'all deserve it. I deserve it. To be treated like a princess. There's nothing wrong with that. And I am Italian, so you know. We like the wine, and we like the pasta, and we like the princess treatment. Yes, so long story short, being boy sober has been amazing for me thus far, and I will keep you updated about all the juicy details here soon. Stay tuned.
Notice the contrast of what she said at the end. She says, I like the wine. I like being taken out. I like to be treated like a princess.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the beginning of the video, she says, women are sacrificing too much for men. So this is a feminist ideology. And it's saying women should not sacrifice at all for men and not give anything of themselves, but just sit back and relax and expect men to give of themselves for you. Everything is about me, and what I want. If you were to ask her, what should you do for a man? She would have no answer. It's all about, I'm giving too much of I gotta find myself. And you would think it's good that women want to abstain from sex. That's not what they're saying. Because I guarantee you, she's still putting out thirst traps. I guarantee you, she's still dressing like a slut while going out. I guarantee you that. What she's going to do is try to siphon as much attention without doing any womanly duties. That's what she's going to do. And the boy sober movement is what it is a result of women, the first few things that we went over, being so promiscuous, sleeping with men, getting the wrong type of boyfriends, committing to the wrong type of men, the bad boys, the players, and then saying all men are the problem. No, it's not all men. It's just you. It's just you and the men that you pick. And the reason why we know it's a problem that she has is because if you look back at what she said, it was nothing about being a better person with better character. It's more of looking inward and being selfish. I need more selfishness and I need to expect more from men. Not what can I give to be a better person, not what can I sacrifice, not how can I be an individual with integrity and self-respect. None of that. That wasn't said. I need to demand more.
She said, I deserve it.
She deserves it. She's a princess. What type of man would be in his right mind who would marry a woman like that? You can stay boy sober for the rest of your life. It would do everybody in the world a favor if you were boy sober for the next 20 years. That would be great. You know, pull up the, what is it, comments from her video?
Yeah, I got those right here now. When I took a break from dating 7 months ago, I lost 25 pounds, glowed up, happier and healthier than ever. LMAO.
So your boyfriend was definitely feeding you.
Yeah. This bottom one is they have to pay me to see me.
Oh, that sounds like a prostitute.
Yeah, by definition. Wow. I think we got another video
Yeah,
to
you can
play
pull it
underneath
up.
it. Yeah, so let's go grab this video.
I've been boy sober for 25 years. I've never had a boyfriend. I've never been in love, but I so badly want to know what love feels like. And it's something that scares me the most about the situation I'm in and like the way that my love life has been non-existent is that finding love in this life is not a guarantee. I feel like growing up, I always thought that it was something that would be guaranteed for me in my life is to like be in love, experience love, get married, whatever, you know what I mean? Things society pushes as like the end goal of life or like, you know what I mean? I even have like felt that way too, like in my 20s and stuff, but I've like kind of coming to terms with it's not guaranteed for me. I think sure, I could find somebody to date if I just wanted to date somebody and like say I'm in a relationship, but finding true love is literally just luck. Just think that some people are extremely lucky to have experienced that and get to experience that. Maybe it's not meant for me. I don't know. Finding true love, which is like what I want, and like I'm not gonna get in a relationship just cause. I'm not gonna settle. I just don't want it in my life if it's not gonna be true love. And like I know true love sounds fantasy, like made up, and I do think it exists. Like I'm a hopeless romantic. Like, I don't think it's like as perfect as like the fairy tales and like the romance books that I read and everything, obviously. But finding somebody that meet my standards, be my match, who I want to spend my life with, so hard and rare to find. I think that there are a lot of people in relationships that have just settled. I feel like I'm just like starting to get into the mindset that maybe it won't happen for me. Maybe it's not meant for me. Side note, my strawberry matcha latte is so good. I don't know, maybe that's just a way to like protect myself too. So I don't get my hopes up and have the mindset of like, well, it'll happen for me, you know what I mean? And then it continues to not. I just feel so sad about it. This is like the young love that I was promised. That's my thing too, like goddamn. I really thought I was like promised this in my life. Why am I gonna cry? Because it is
Pause that real quick.
It just makes me
This is the same issue with every video, almost as if they plan on the same playbook. None of them have any self-reflection as to what they can do better to attain the man that they think they deserve. It's all about what he can do for me. And this, I was promised. Who promised you that? I tell Christian women all the time, you are not promised a man. Nobody promised you. God never promised that you would get married. You actually have to be a good wife before somebody goes out and finds a wife. If you're not a good wife, no man is going to find you. And most women have zero ability to self-reflect. You're like, yo, what are you doing to actually attract this man? Are you going to the gym and being in good shape, being beautiful? Are you dressing modest so when he looks at you, he sees the future mother of his child? Are you asking your father, this is a big one, to help you? To be like, hey, dad, what should I do? You're a man I can trust that I know is not trying to spin me or lead me the wrong direction. How and what should I look for to find a man? He'll tell you, he'll sit down. A good father will. Some of these fathers aren't good because they allow their daughters to do OnlyFans. What about your church? What does your church say? All these things, if you're really serious about finding a good, godly man, it takes work. And one thing you need to do is accept correction. If you're not willing to
mindset, or like I'm like trying to, oh my god, the mindset that I try to like not get my hopes up, like maybe it won't happen for me. It sucks that I have to have that. And it's like, because I'm 25 years old and I still don't know what it's like to be loved. And like, and again, like, what if I never do? And like, what if like it's just not gonna happen for me? You know what I mean? Like, I just yearn so bad to experience that. I can already hear some of the comments being like, it's not all it's cracked up to be, like being in a relationship and stuff. But you know what? Nobody has ever said to me, being in love isn't all that. Right. That's what I mean. That's what I want. And I know that romantic love isn't everything. You also need platonic love, self-love, family love. There's love all around me. You know that quote that's like, sneaky suspicion that if you look for it, like love is all around us. And that is so true. And I absolutely
You know what? You can
love
pause
that.
this
That
because she
gives me
just
hope
prattled
that I
for the
know that
rest of
there
the
is love.
video. But there was something else she had said in the video. And this is a mistake that a lot of women don't even recognize when they say it. She says she wanted to find a man that's a match for her. Wrong. Find a man where you're a match for him. Find a man where you can get on his page under his leadership, not the other way around. You don't go and be like, I like cats, so he has to like cats. If he like dogs, get rid of your notions. If you really like that man and he's a godly man that God is leading you to, you need to change to get under his leadership. And I know a lot of women don't like that, and a lot of Christians, well, what if he's doing something wrong? Shut up with that. That's not what I'm talking about. And I know I'm not. People use it as an excuse. What if he's an ungodly man? Then you shouldn't be pursuing him in the first place. I'm talking about a godly man. You get on his page. And if you're not willing to do that, then don't ask God for a godly man. If you're not willing to submit and change things about your life to fit him, to be a helpmeet to him, help him achieve his goals. You're not the main character in this game. And a lot of women don't want to hear that either. Too bad. I want to be the main character in my story. The story is not about you or him. It's about God, to be honest. And he's pursuing God, and you're supposed to assist him in his goals in that. And a lot of women don't like to hear that because they have been taught all throughout their life they're the main character. Is there another video after that? Yeah, it's yeah, it's that. Is that the same one? Oh, then we'll read the comments under that. Yeah. That one by Steph.
Here we go. Yeah. So I'm 20 and I've never had a boyfriend, a first kiss, nothing. And people low key make fun of me for it, and I hate it. I'm so embarrassed. Like, am I that ugly? Is it my looks or personality? I don't know. I'm just too shy to approach a boy, and I'm scared of rejection. I feel like they would laugh in my face for even talking to them. I want my first to be my future husband, but I know that's impossible.
That's not impossible.
No,
But
no.
okay.
I have friends who are in their third relationship. I hate having to third wheel. I'd rather just stay home. I'm literally in my second year of whatever is it community college? I don't know. Or
Yeah, probably
CC, yeah.
college.
So I'm surrounded by people my age, and I'm just too insecure. I want my own family in the future, but I'm worried that's not going to happen. I relate to you so much. You're one of my fave creators on here. You don't understand how seen you make me feel.
Wow. You make her feel seen. Here's the thing. And this is where you like, yo, for men, this is just obvious, but for women, it's not as obvious to them. Why not listen to what the men are saying? To me, it's simple. If you want to attract a good men, listen to what good men say they want. There is no woman who is above a 2 in looks, who is submissive, not combative, knows how to cook, quiet in her attitude and speech, not annoying, and who cannot get married. Not even in a 2, I mean, a 2 is butt ugly. A 1 is like deformed. That's the lowest you can get. A 2 is butt ugly. Like your face is right here and a butt is right there. So most women on the planet are above butt ugly, swamp donkey monkey mouth. Most women make it above that. So it's really no excuse. You have to ask yourself, what about these godly attributes do I not have? Am I not submissive? Am I combative? Am I so ugly and so obesely fat that I don't attract any men? Am I annoying to be around? Am I so socially awkward and think all my quirky jokes are so funny and push men away? All these different things matter. But you need to have self-reflection and be honest. You can't just have a bunch of yes women around you telling you you're perfect the way you are. What's the next comment?
Yeah, I got a new batch of these here. I feel like you can date with the intention of being serious and experience love. Not every single person you date is going to be the one. We can strive for it, but there's a beauty in simply loving people.
That sounds great.
Next
a Hallmark
one.
card.
Yeah, next one. I met my first real boyfriend at 19. Yes, a lot of it has to do with luck. but you really have to put yourself out there. Go on Hinge, go on dates, talk to different people. Eventually, something will click. Or this one. Fell in love for the first time 6 months ago, and I'm 26 years old too. It's me, Mario. I'm 26 years old. Never lower your standards because I felt the exact same way as you, and now the most adorable and respectful guy just walked into my life.
Never lower your standards. That's terrible advice. What if you're going for a man that's a 9 or a 10, but you're a 4 or a 5? You should absolutely lower your standards. You got to be realistic. And it's funny to me that when men cannot get access to the women they want, what do we tell those men? We tell those men, hey, you got to better yourself. If you want to get that type of girl, you better get in the gym. You want to get that type of girl, you better learn how to talk. You want to get that type of girl, you better start taking showers and smelling nice. You better start dressing nice. Or sometimes we tell them the black pill of, man, dude, you're 5'5". You're not going to get that girl that's 5'6", 5'7", 5'8". You're going to have to let that go. Sometimes we tell men that. But it's oftentimes when I look at girls that reassure other girls, even in the comments, it's like, oh, you're beautiful the way you are. You're not doing anything wrong. You're great. You're perfect. It's all luck. No, it's not. No, it's not. If you want a man, you got to work and find out what that man wants. What does the type of man you want from you? That shouldn't even be controversial. And I've never seen a secular woman address this. Never. I have never seen a comment from a woman to another woman on TikTok, on X, on Facebook, on Instagram say, you know what, have you thought about bettering yourself in this way to attract a man? I've never seen it. Because men are something that should just flop at your door. They don't deserve you working for them or sacrificing for them. They should just love you as you are. And that's the nonsense that's keeping women single. You could play that next video.
Me at 29 remembering who I was actually supposed to marry. And yes, she is a married woman. You don't want to know what I wrote in my fan fiction stories about us in 2010? Imagine your wife disrespecting you to the point where she's admitting she wants another man to bend her over. It's men's fault that women are acting like this because you're enabling their behavior. You're allowing them to disrespect you, and you're putting rings on their finger when they don't deserve it. That's so tough. Me at 29 remembering who I was actually supposed to marry. And yes, she is a married woman. You don't want to know what I wrote in my fan.
She is... This is crazy. And this is why people say, like, men are scared of marriage. This is why a lot of men have been opting out. They see stuff like this. And I love RC's stuff, by the way. He's a great content creator. Men are opting out of dating because they see married women post stuff like this. She posts her watching a video of a rock star, and she's posting and joking and saying, this is the man I'm supposed to marry. What type of disrespect does that do to your husband? Why would men... and I said this before too. Women being on social media has done more to destroy the feminist cause than anything else. Because we see the way they joke and the lack of respect that married women have for their husbands. And men are like, I don't want to have nothing to do with that. This is what marriage is? They can just disrespect you like that? Nothing happens? They don't deal with it in church. They don't deal with it at home. Nobody else deals with it. You just got to live with that? She can just say she wants to sleep with another man, take half your stuff, and that's cool. And nobody's going to say nothing. That's insane. Most men are like, nah, dude, I'd rather be single. Yeah, you can play the next one.
Mom first always. Tired of games. Looking for something real.
Can't put up with men's shit.
Fluent in sarcasm. Mommy to be. Dating with intention. Yes, I'm fat. Looking for my best friend. Must make 6 figures. Those are my standards.
Take it or leave it.
I love to travel and be spoiled. Need somebody to put me in my soft girl era. I don't chase, I attract. I don't drive
and I don't have a car.
I'm healed and you should be too. No need to worry about my past, only my future.
Mama bear.
I don't text first. Looking for my partner in crime. Love horror movies. My love language is being spoiled. Absolutely no MAGA!
Cash App, link in bio.
My kids, cats, and I live with my mom and grandma. I am the table. Favorite foods are tacos and sushi.
Pineapple on pizza.
I need somebody to get me off this app for good. Princess treatment only. Also, I'm
huge.
Mom first always.
Also, I'm huge. I thought that was super funny because I've seen there are some channels that all they do is post women's dating pages and their like profiles from their dating websites, and it's stuff like this, dude. You wouldn't think it would be real, but they are, man. They are really out here putting stuff out there, and they don't. And then they wonder. They will put out there, man must make six figures. The man must love cats. The man must take me on trips to Paris. And then they'll be 300 pounds and wonder why that type of man is not coming for them. The delusion. What has built that delusion? You can read that next part.
So we're looking at dating apps now, and dating apps have created unrealistic expectations. So research has found a small percentage of men receive a disproportionate amount of female attention on dating apps, and many average users report frustration and dating fatigue.
Yep.
So they actually did their own, Tinder did their own internal data, and also something from the Pew Research Center. Pew is a pretty big deal there.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was an analysis of dating app behaviors as well, too. So there's some multiple sources for all of this. And that leads us to a scripture reading, though, from Proverbs in 31:30. Proverbs says this: "Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised."
Absolutely. I love that verse because this is the focal point of what it means to be a good woman. Charm is deceitful, so being beautiful or being able to talk that talk. Beauty is vain, meaning that's going to fade. It's not going to be here forever. What should attract a godly man is your character. Beauty gets you in the door. Let's not be fooled. Beauty gets you in the door, sitting at the table. But once I get to know you, you got to have good character. You got to ask yourself, and this is a hard question that most people are not honest about. Am I going to be a good mother? Am I going to be a woman that has good character? Who will be able to be there through the tough times, the hard times when he's not being the man I think he should be? Am I still going to be a good woman? Am I going to be long suffering? One of the attributes of love. Am I going to be forgiving when he does something wrong? All these things, most women don't sit down and ask themselves anything. All these the attributes that God says you gotta have in love. Like one of the biggest ones that are often forgotten, especially when it comes to marriage, long suffering. Long suffering. People act like that's not even in the Bible as an attribute that is one of the things that describes what godly love is. Long suffering means enduring pain for a long time. That's what suffering is. You don't just go in there and be like, oh, if it's not good, better by next week, then I'm out. No, long suffering. How do you endure things you don't like for a period of time that makes it very uncomfortable for you? Marriage has a lot to do with long suffering. And then you say, why would I ever get married? Are you going to sacrifice? Are you going to do what you supposed to do to be obedient to God or not? And you say, well, why would anybody ever put up with long suffering? That's a good question. If you're not a Christian. If you're not a Christian, that sounds great. Because life is all about your whatever you want to indulge in. If you are a Christian and you ask why would anybody put up with long suffering, you need to re-examine who you actually worship. And I'm talking to men and women. Jesus Christ long suffered for us. He put himself on the cross for us. Any Christian should be willing to go through some pain for their spouse, for their husband, for their wife. Jesus Christ did it for us. So you shouldn't be looking at life and saying, oh, this is so hard. I can't go through it for one more day. Look what Jesus Christ did for you. You ought to be willing to go through. And as a man, I teach men this. Don't get married if you're not ready to endure your wife with her periods, with menopause, with going through pregnancies, hormones up and down, her being emotional, being sad, crying at the drop of a hat. Those are things that you're going to have to learn to endure. And guess what? Still love your wife after all of that. When she flip out and do something really stupid where you're like, she just starting an argument, still love her after that. Now, here's the other side that's never talked about. As a woman, when your man wants sex all the time, because I hear a bunch of women complaining about that like that's the worst thing ever. As a man, you want sex all the time, you need to obey. When he has a bad attitude, you still need to submit. When he tells you what to do, when he ain't say it the way you like, you still need to do it. We don't talk about that. It was all cool when we talked about what the man is supposed to do, but when we talk about what the woman is supposed to do that's very uncomfortable, the room gets silent all of a sudden. Then all of a sudden, that's not Bible anymore. Oh, what about this? And what if he's abusive? And what about... We didn't ask all that for the men's side. What if she's abusive? What if she doesn't want to listen? What if she's not submissive? Still love her. What if he's abusive? What is he doing? Still respect him and submit to him. That is your duty. And a godly woman would tell you that, but it's not enough godly women left to actually say that no more. He's abusive, leave him. He's verbally abusive, leave him. He's financially abusive, leave him. Everything is abuse, by the way. Everything we deem as abuse is abuse. He told you can't go to Target and spend $10,000, leave him. He told you shouldn't wear that slutty outfit, leave him. What can a man do in this generation that's not controlling and abusive? List me one thing that's negative that you don't like that's not controlling and abusive. It's insanity. And then women wonder why they can't find a man. God is not going to send a man to you, because sending a man to you now will be a punishment to that man, and maybe he don't deserve punishment from God. Why would he ever link a good godly man up to you and you ain't a good godly woman? And he commanded us to be equally yoked. Why would he do that to a man? So, the next point. I think we got a video under that.
Yeah, we just got a comment too
Go ahead.
from BC Kenner. No, that's real.
Darn right it's real.
Darn right it's real. I see. There was a reference. Someone was asking about our studio. Yeah.
Is it they asking if it's a green screen?
Yeah. Yep. Let's see.
It's not.
That's real. That's 100% real. Yep. See, it moves. See,
everything I do is real.
Everything is real.
It's all real. Some of y'all ain't gonna know that song. Anyways, I gotta download that song. I like this song.
And this is like my ultimate truth and goal of going voiceover is to be able to be in a relationship that I am not dependent on.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm still like, because I would love like a supportive partner or a boyfriend. And I feel like my issue with dating men is that like I'm still unlearning like the toxic projections I have onto like I'm like, oh, I want a supportive boyfriend, and then a man is supportive and I'm like, you're gay. Like, you know, I'm like, you're a little bitch. Why are you following me around? Like, why are you helping me? And I'm like, like I need to unlearn that so that I can be in like a healthy relationship.
Right.
Instead of like with an aloof loser who doesn't ask you any questions.
Yeah.
And this is like my ultimate.
You know what? Okay, here's her issue, and wouldn't nobody else break this down this way. She said, you're a bitch. She's right. Because she found a supportive boyfriend instead of finding a man she should support. What does it say?
That's the real Mortimus.
That's right. He's asleep right now. He's on drugs, so he ain't gonna wake up for a long time. But yeah, that's him. He's on drugs, so he ain't gonna say anything for some reason. But yeah, so when you see a man and you feel like you need to support, or he needs to support you, you found a beta male. Straight up, and I know people ain't gonna like that. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. If you are a woman and you find a man and he's going to support you in your dreams and your goals, and he's gonna follow you around and ask you what you need, and he's gonna make you breakfast and make you lunch and cook for you and do whatever you need to do to achieve everything you want to achieve and help you start your business, and he's gonna be the person. You found a beta male, and yes, you're going to look at him as a little bitch. But if you find a man you can support, you can help, in your woman brain, you're going to love that type of man way more because that's what you were put on the earth to do. God created woman out of Adam's rib to help him, to be a helpmeet to him, not the other way around. And a lot of women, they don't understand their purpose. So therefore, they get with a man and they wonder why, I don't understand why I don't like this guy, because he's a weak little you know what. That's why. You can play the next one.
Okay, we have ultimately come up with the boy sober rules. Now, how did I come up with these rules? I went to dinner with my friend Julia. We started talking about it in the Uber on the way to a bar for my friend's birthday. And then at the bar, I asked the ladies around me, I said, what do we think about these rules? Da, da, da. So I did have a few people help. I had a bit of a focus group. Okay, so these are the 2024 boy sober.
I hate the way women be talking online. It's so annoying. I think they think being, and I've said this before, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong. Women a lot of women, not all, most think that being quirky is synonymous with being funny. They really believe this. They believe that if I do things like this while I talk, people will find it funny. It's just annoying. You look like a weirdo auntie that trying to make a joke that people laugh at to make you feel better. You know, when you got one of those weirdo aunties that got too drunk on the wine and she thinks she's saying something funny, you're not funny. Anyways, that was just a rant I had to go on because all these women videos do this, man. Super annoying.
Should we finish this one?
Yes, please.
Rules. No dating apps, no dates, no exes, no situationships. And let me just say, my whole life I've been saying, oh, I'm single. No, I've never been single. I've always had a situationship. You're not single if someone is taking up your brain space, okay? So no situationships, no XOXOXO. And if I have to explain to you what that means, you know exactly what I mean. No XO, no hugs and kisses extended, no hugs and kisses, etc. Okay, we have ultimately come up with the boy sober rules. Now, how did I come up?
The boy sober movement is all about abstaining from men and using that abstinence to clear your mind. And you would say this is a good thing, but it's not. And it's for this reason. Look, it's trying to, they're using this not to say, you know, we've been too sexually promiscuous, but they're using it as to say, this is an opportunity for us to recenter our mind to be even more selfish than we were before. This is not a good thing. It's like saying, you know what, I'm going to stop using cocaine and start using heroin. That's going to get me going. That's going to get my life back on track. Selfishness is what got you into this situation. Now adding more selfishness on top of it is not going to get you out. So we can read the comments.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. I want to do it so bad, but I love having little crushes and flirting and kissing.
See that? They want that attention. They cannot give up that male attention.
Yep.
You see when they have to do without it, the truth start come out. I just can't do without men looking at me and kissing me and throwing heaps of attention on me.
I'm amazed at your willpower. Another one.
Ain't go without it.
Yep. Good luck with it. Someone does a little salute emoji there.
Right.
But the plot is the next one. This is hard. Oh, here we go. I had 2023 boy sober, and now I don't know to let it go because I enjoyed the peace and quiet too much.
This is the thing I want people to notice too. All the women who are saying this is hard and I just can't do it, they're not talking about boyfriend-girlfriend relationships. They're talking about their situationships where a man just comes around and sleep with them. They like, man, I just can't give up all of it. Because what happens with a lot of these promiscuous women in today's modern age is they are saying, yeah, I can give up having a boyfriend that I have to answer to or have to do things with, but giving up all my situationships where I got these friends with benefits, that's too hard. I can't give away all that. I normally have a roster. A lot of these girls have a roster of dudes, and they will not give it up. And to say they gonna give it up, it's cool to say F all men and all men are pigs, but they all got some dudes that they can call and will come over and do whatever they want sexually. So don't be fooled and think that this generation is less promiscuous because they're saying, oh, we don't have sex, we're boy sober. No, you ain't boy sober. You ain't really doing it. What's the comment?
Came up with the rules while drunk.
Yeah. Sounds pretty accurate. They boy sober, but ain't real sober. You can read it.
Can I have a crush? Like a little crush that I won't act on, but makes work and life more fun?
They love this stuff.
I was boy sober this year and it was amazing. I love spending time with myself and my friends and feel so great and grew.
Wow.
For a year, I would be gnawing at the bars of my enclosure.
They can't go without sex.
An enclosure, where is she? Well, anyway, I'm not gonna worry about that.
Yeah, don't ask me.
Yeah, I don't want to dive into that. Someone is taking up your brain space as a great way to judge if you're breaking a boy sober rule. Fill that brain space with you.
And here's the thing, and that phrase right there shows you the selfishness that a lot of modern women have. They don't want a man to take up their brain space, but God created them to serve men. Uh-oh. Can't say that.
Can't say that.
God created most women to serve men in the way of being a wife with wifely duties, whether it be taking care of the home. But the Bible even puts it like this. In Ephesians, it says Sarah called Abraham Lord, and women ought to take that as a good example. Whoa, you won't see that preached on. You were meant to serve. Now, here's the thing, and I gotta say this because some men gonna take that too far. That doesn't mean you as a man are to hoard your leadership over a woman and have your foot on her neck. Is that what Jesus Christ does to you? Does he beat you down and demand that you do things every second of the day? And I don't think most men have that issue, so I'm just addressing a far to the one end of the spectrum type of thing. But some men will try to throw Bible verses in their wife. You supposed to submit to me. Well, here's the thing. You don't have, if you're a real man and you're a strong man with a strong personality and you leading correctly, you don't have to say that too much. And that's real talk. I don't have to go up to my wife and show her Ephesians 5 and be like, submit, woman, every day. Read the verse with me together out loud. I don't have to do that. And the reason why I don't have to do that, because she already know I'm a man worthy of submission. I don't have to beat her over the head with the Bible. She already knows I'm a man worthy of respect. You as a man have to be worthy of respect. But as we deal with women, whether your man is worthy of respect or not, you still ought to submit. And that's the part they don't want to hear. A man has no problem hearing you ought to be a man worthy of respect and you need to step your game up when it comes to leading your house. Most men, if they ain't doing right, they will listen. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I should. Most women, hey, if he's not a good leader, you still need to submit to him. Wait, my feelings, my heart. That's how they respond. Instead of doing the right thing, they start huffing and puffing. You can read the next part.
We've got a video here, I think.
Go ahead.
Yeah, here we go. Yep. There's this. Let's see. This is it. Yep.
Hey there, I'm Cara, and for the past 3 months, I have been boy sober and loving it. I have traveled, I've visited family, I have spent multiple nights at friends' houses. I live near Austin, Texas, And it's just been great bonding time to get to know these friends even at a deeper level, and to dance and have fun and just do whatever I want. I have gone to the water park with my kids so many times, and I wake up when I want to, I go to sleep when I want to, and I don't have to share my closet. It's all amazing stuff. Now, it is not forever, and I do love romance, and I love love. And when I see my friends, you know, at the beginning of new relationships, or even if they've been married for several years, it really warms my heart, and I allow that loving energy to kind of press on my protective bubble and, you know, help me keep my heart and eyes open towards that special person who I know is on his way to me. But
there we go.
there's
Pause
no
that.
pressure. So
there we go with this ideology that a man is on his way. I don't have to do anything. He's just gonna be here. We ordered him like an Amazon package. He'll be here the moment. And here's the other thing, that's the audacity of pride with these women. It's not only that the man is on his way, is that he'll be there right when I expect him and right when I'm done with whatever this phase is right now. Whatever I'm doing right now and however long it takes where I don't need a man, as soon as I'm done with that, yep, I'm ready now. Here I am. Come and get me. Is that how life works with anything?
No. Not at
What
all.
thing worth obtaining do you not have to work for, and you can just say, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for a man to come take care of me and protect me and help balance me with all my emotions and listen to me cry and be an emotional sponge for the rest of my life. I'm ready. What is that? How you think anything of value is obtained? It shows you how little they respect men. He'll just come along when I'm ready to accept him. That's not how life works. So it's like, she said something else too, but we'll address that at the end of the video.
Is she expecting like an Amazon package to show up on time for? It's just something she's treating a man like a delivery.
Yep. He'll be delivered anytime, when I'm ready. And if he's not delivered when I'm ready, I'll call God, the person who's delivering it, and complain. What are you gonna do if he doesn't come?
I'm not going to rejoin the dating apps anytime soon, other than Bumble. And I'm A-okay with that. Like, the focus is on my energy and protecting my energy. It's on my career, and it's on my dharma and all of the
Boss babe.
fun things that I have in store to create. And I love that that's the focus right now. And dating just to date would be a distraction and kind of disingenuous to any of the men who might actually catch feelings, or even if I caught feelings, like, it just doesn't feel like the exact right time. So that's my boy sober story, and if you have your own, I'd love to hear it. Take care. Bye.
Here's one thing I want y'all to notice. Remember when we covered that video of that lady? I think I was doing it on my own, so I don't know if you were there, Mr. Producer, but it was a lady, and this is where we got that looks nasty video.
Okay.
Where she was living a life by herself, making that nasty looking soup. And she was eating it, and she was bragging about how life was being childless. Listen to this woman's life and tell me that they're not one and the same. They're not parallel. Because she's talking about all the things she did now that she was boy sober, and it's all childless. I'm a woman by myself behavior. I get to go and walks on the beach by myself. I get to feed my cats and go on wine dates with my friends. And then I come home and watch whatever movie, and I don't have to share my closet. Don't be fooled. Anyone, even the men and women, do not be fooled and think that her life is happy. It's not, dude. Look at this Chelsea Handler situation. I should have got some videos of her. These women who live this life of, I have no family and nothing to live for, but I have all these material things I've obtained. They're the most medicated group. They're the most depressed group. They're the most group that's out there yelling and screaming about every little cause because they have no purpose to their life. That's them. They have lost the plot. And what I mean by that is they were supposed to put all these emotions and feelings and energy into children, and they never did. And now they have all this emotional baggage floating up in there and all this love that they were supposed to give, and they don't have anywhere to put it. And it has a mental toll on them because they know in the back of their head that they're supposed to have children. They know they're supposed to have a husband that they care for. Women find joy in doing certain things. Like my wife, and I didn't understand this. Like, first of all, sometimes I would be like, you ain't gotta cook that. I know you tired. I know you doing this. I know you got this going on. You don't have to stop and cook for me. But the more and more I realize it, she enjoys doing that stuff. She's a good woman, so she enjoys it. The world has convinced women that they don't enjoy that type of stuff. My wife enjoys cooking. My wife enjoys. I remember one time when my wife, I'm just bragging on her now. One time when she had I was super tired this week, and she had put together this lunch for me, like in the lunch container, and it had, dude, I don't know what she did, but everything was in there. It was a dessert section in there. It was sandwiches made just the way I like. It was something on the side. It was even some healthy stuff that she know I wouldn't even like, but I was like, she was like, put it on she said this, and it was good. And I was like, how long? I was thinking, how long did it take her to do this? But she enjoyed to do it for me. Why? Because as I'm going to work, taking care of the house, she found joy in supporting me doing my goals. And other women have been told, no, you should never do anything like that. That's what she got joy in. And to sit and act like that's not the case is wrong of me. To be like, no, you ain't got to do that. I'll do that for myself. You need to let a woman be a woman and a man be a man. Here's the other thing on the other flip side of that a lot of men don't talk about. We get joy in protecting. We get joy in providing. I like to go to work and be tired and know when I come home, I did it for my kids. I love to do that. You would say, man, ain't you tired? You don't look happy. No, I don't feel happy either a lot of times. But guess what? The overall joy in knowing that I'm the one taking care of my kids and they ain't got to worry about nothing because dad is taking care of it, that gives me joy. Yes, I'm spitting because I'm talking about something I'm passionate about. That gives me joy to know I'm taking care of things as a man. Yes, I'm tired. I'm working hard. I remember when I was working I worked at a steel mill. I worked as a mason with bricks, not one of them weird masons with the Colty type stuff. A brick mason. And I was carrying bricks up ladders. I came home proud of myself that I was taking care of my wife because we didn't have any kids at the time. I was taking care of my family. A man finds joy in his purpose. A woman finds joy in her purpose. Don't take that away from yourself because you're going to take away your joy when you take away your husband and your children. These women are walking around here trying to find things to get joy in and they can't find them. God already had the perfect thing for you to put your life in motion and work towards, and you just, I don't need that. I'll get it when I get it. And then it's too late. Now you're 38 and your eggs is dried up. There is no more joy anymore. It's sad too. It's super sad. You can read that next part.
So we got here. So after all that filling your brain space with you business, so there's some analysis of this further that a man in a lower attractiveness scale needs to have a massive income boost to match the desirability of taller, higher status men. Because she was talking about all the dating stuff that she was doing.
Yeah.
And this got something from OkCupid. Men rated approximately 60% of women as average or above average in looks. Women rated only around 19 to 20% of men that way, implying that approximately 80% of men are seen as below average.
And here's the thing. This is why I brought those statistics up, is that even says that it's harder for a woman to find a man she's attracted to. So if you do find a man you are attracted to, you better make it work. As a woman, as a man, this is not your fight. As a woman, if you find a man you are attracted to, recognizing that women do not find most men attractive, you better make it work. Because you ain't going to find another man you are attracted to in a long time if you think that 80% of men are unattractive. You better make it work. You can read on.
There's one more study that they did on Tinder. According to this, men swipe right on approximately 60% plus of women. Women swipe right on approximately 4 to 5% of men.
And you know what's crazy about that? It's something that lady said. She said, "Oh, I'll find a man when I get ready." Y'all can't even find a man when you really want to find a man. Think about that. Women do not find a large majority of men as even attractive enough to consider. That's not even after you, that's before you get to the date and sit down and get to know somebody. So how you going to find a man after more time has passed? You've gotten older, you've been through more life, you got more baggage, you don't look as good as you used to. You think you're going to find those same type of men? No, you're not. Be realistic. It's a video.
We got one more thing about what was found on Tinder. Wow. On Tinder, men swipe right on about 60% of, did I mention that? Oh,
yeah, I think you read that.
Average men get liked by less than 1% of women in some experiments.
Less than 1%. So when you find that less than 1% man that you actually like, you better start doing some backflips and jumping jacks. You better do what it takes to keep him, because you're not going to find another 1% person. Imagine if you said you got a 1% chance, to either stick your hand in a box and out will come a bomb, or out will come a diamond. What is your chance? Would you actually be feeling around more when you reach your hand in that box? Would you take more precaution? Yes, you would, because the chances are not high. If I don't get this diamond, man, my life is going to be over. Women are acting like they just can stick their hand in the box and everything, they just going to find diamonds. It don't work like that. Is there a video?
Yeah, I just found it. Yeah, I'm going to pull up right now.
If only you guys knew how long I've been trying to convince myself to just fall in love with the nice guy. To just fall in love with the nice guy, Blair. There's so many that actually like me, and they're really great guys.
Yeah, hostage video.
So the little girl.
All up her nose.
And I don't like them. Why can't they just be like a little mean? Just like a little bit.
Listen to what she's saying.
Yell at me or something. Boss me around. Why do you guys have to ruin it? Why can't you just be a little mean? Like, be nice. Be the nice guy, but be a little bit mean. I don't want to get my way all the time.
What? She's actually being honest here. And this is a lesson for men. For one, to circle back to the previous point that women do not find most men attractive. She's saying, dude, I find these guys and they're too nice. And I can't find a guy I'm attracted to, because part of being attracted to a man is he has to have some authority and ability to tell me no. She's actually right about that, but it also goes to show you how hard it is to please a woman. That you got to be mean and nice and not abusive, but also have a heavy hand, and you got to be able to romance her, but also tell her to shut up. They want a balance of a lot of things. And if you are that man, if you the man that women want, you get to pick what you want. And they don't understand that, because they say, well, that player shouldn't be a player. The player is a player because y'all allow him to be. Second thing that you can learn from that, men. Women do not want to push over man. As much as they say it, as much as they claim that they want somebody to support them, like that one video said, they are not attracted to that. And I hate it that I have to beat this into a lot of men's heads. Men, a woman does not want to push over weak man. They want a man who's going to be like, no, we ain't doing that. We doing this. Now you're going to say, well, why does she always argue when I do that? Why, when every time I put my foot down, does she not listen? because you're too weak and you bend and you fold too easy. She doesn't expect you to push back. She been walking all over you for the past 20 years, so yeah, she gonna walk over you again tomorrow. And then when you push back, she ain't gonna be like, wait, I've been walking over him for 20 years. I know this little wussy boy ain't trying to fight back. Let me put him back in his place. But if you actually come into a relationship and you stand on what you say as a man, and you actually have some self-respect, women will respect that. They'll be like, I can't do that with my husband. Or they'll be like, I gotta ask my husband if I can do that. He is not gonna be free. He ain't gonna appreciate me staying out this late. And other women will be like, that's controlling. And meanwhile, they'll be like, ooh, I like that. I wish I had a man who cared enough about me to tell me I gotta be at home. Little Whitaker over here is crying while I put him in the cuck chair and do whatever I want to do. Women don't like that, dude. We can read on.
The next section is talking about all this is coming up to this point here. Loneliness is increasing because of all of this. So young adults are reporting some of the highest loneliness rates. We're seeing some of these highest rates ever measured. And women are increasingly reporting dissatisfaction with the dating market. And this comes from the American Survey Center and the U.S. Surgeon General's own advisory on loneliness. But Scripture talks about it like this. Isaiah 26:3 says, you keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you.
That's true.
And you can't, relationships can't fix spiritual emptiness.
Yep. If you are spiritually empty, and this is kind of goes back to my point of, if you want to be a good woman, you have to, if you want to attract a good man, you have to be a good woman. Your mind need to be stayed on God. And that's not the only thing, because some people will make that far too simple and say, well, I've been praying every day for a good man and he's not here. If you are a good person and you going out and you doing good things and you're doing what attracts a man, studying men's character, preparing for what a good man will want out of a good woman, you will attract a good man. You will. And being humble enough to ask the godly men in your life to help you, godly men in your church, your father, even your brothers. Hey, what should I do to attract a godly man? I'm having trouble in this area. I want to humble myself and ask for help. They'll help you. You can go to the next section.
Next up, we're looking at God's design versus modern dating. And modern dating is casual, it's temporary, it's self-focused, and it's entertainment-based. However, Scripture looks at things a little bit differently. So Genesis 2:24 says, therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh.
I think, did we skip the section about antidepressants?
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I think we may have. Oops. Yep. There it is.
Because I want.
Yep. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
There
fine.
we go. Yeah,
but
found it.
this is important because a lot of women are on them.
So, backtrack just a little bit here. So, the CDC and the NHIS did a study here, talked about prescription medication for depression. And overall, 11.4% of U.S. adults took such medication. Out of that group, 15.3% were women, more than twice the rate of men, which was at 7.4%. Now, adults in the 18 to 44 category were at about 10.7%. But then a CDC study from 2015 to 2018, so this is like a 3-year study, and they looked at antidepressant use, like a recency. They were asked, did you take anything in the past 30 days? And women overall were at approximately 17.7%.
That's a lot.
That's almost 18%.
What?
That's a huge number.
Are on antidepressants,
Yes.
and they want to tell you that this feminism experiment is going great.
Right. Yeah.
All right, now we can go to that next section.
Oh, yeah.
The biblical marriage, I think.
So we're talking about, how, all about dating, and then biblical marriage. Ephesians 5:25 furthers all of this and says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. And just to review this, in Genesis, therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Totally the opposite of modern dating, which is casual, temporary, self-focused, and entertainment based.
Yep. Exactly.
And then we got a
It's
video.
all about what you can do for me.
Right. Yep.
And this video will expose
Yep.
that. I think it's
Yeah.
yeah. Just pull that one off.
Okay.
Is this?
I am gonna need him to do something to give me the ick. I am a 34-year-old mother of 2, and this obsession.
Hi, signed your loving husband. She said mother of 2, husband wasn't even a thought. I warned him last night that I'd risk it all for the other guy. I'm a 41-year-old married woman. This needs to stop. I quite literally said this today, sincerely married mom of 2. He met me in my dreams last night, then my husband awoken me with a coughing fit. What do you think would happen if the roles were reversed? Do you think these women would find that funny? Do you
Right.
think it would be just a joke in that scenario? Because we all know that these same women would call their husbands disgusting, misogynistic pigs for sexually objectifying some random woman on a TV show. But it's you weak, spineless men that have enabled an entire generation of these disrespectful women that live like adult spoiled children that can just do and say literally whatever they want without consequence.
True.
That's so tough.
I am gonna need.
This is a shame because married women are getting online lusting after other men and saying I'm married, and other women are in the comments laughing and saying my husband interrupted my dream about this other guy. This is insane. This is what a lot of young men are seeing, and it's no wonder they're looking at marriage and saying I'm never going to do that, because who wants to be embarrassed to that degree? You want to pull up this transformed wife on here? And I like her. I'll follow her on X. Oh. Yeah, just pull it over. Yeah, you want to read that?
So the feminists have come out in full force and hate this on my Facebook page. Have you ever wondered why marriage is no longer popular and most wives are initiating divorce? Because being a kind and loving wife repulses them.
Mm-hmm.
And so here's that post. A half hour before her husband came home, she would clean up the children and make herself presentable. Dinner would be cooking. When her husband came home, they all ran and smothered him with hugs and kisses. What husband wouldn't want to come home to this? Happily married over 66 years.
Let's read, if you go back to our page, then some of the comments. Yep.
So here are some of those comments. Demand for free labor.
Look at that. Feminist propaganda.
Yeah, feminism is a response to limited rights to own resources, autonomy to femaleness,
Yeah.
health-seeking options, motherhood, contraception, increasing male princesses.
It's okay when women are princesses, but male princesses, that's too far.
and etc. I don't hate you, Lori, but you're spreading harmful ideology. Some things you said are true and biblical, but some are 100% false. Women can be homemakers or be workers outside the home. Men can also take care of the home and raise children like Martin Luther.
Who said they can't?
Right.
She never once said
didn't say that.
that women can never leave the home. That's a straw man argument. And she's only saying these people love to do this because they really have a problem with godly values, but they don't want to say that, so they have to attack something you haven't said.
Then falsely playing victim again to stoke outrage for clicks. No one gives a rat's rear end how you or anyone else lives their lives. We live in a secular constitutional republic where we all have freedom of worship and the freedom to live our personal lives as we wish.
Who said we don't? And
Right.
this is a part of the problem with these feminist Christian women. We have a right to live how we... Nobody said you don't. She's telling you the best and godly way to live. If you don't want to listen, then don't listen. And then take whatever comes with not listening, which is a curse on your life when you are sad and unhappy at age 60 and you have no children and you wonder why you're in your third divorce. Take what comes with it. Don't try to say, oh, we can do what we want. Okay, go do what you want then. It's funny how people will come to this godly woman's page and disagree. She never asked you to listen. You came over here looking for an argument. That's fine. Then go stay over there with your ideology and see where that leads you. And a lot of them will lie and be like, I'm having a great marriage. No, you're not. Or you wouldn't be here arguing over the fundamental things that make a marriage great. You wouldn't be over here arguing for that. You would shut your punk butt up and live your life. You can play that video.
You can hook up with someone in the first night if you find them attractive.
Yeah.
How long until you cook for a guy?
Bro, they better be my fucking husband. Boyfriend, husband, I gotta fuck with him heavy.
No premarital cooking.
No.
Why would you wait until marriage for that?
Because you cannot give any bitch anything or they'll use you. I agree, yeah.
Why does cooking seem more extreme than sex?
Like, if you're sentimental.
Cooking is more sentimental.
Yeah, like anybody can.
Anybody can.
This is crazy.
Everybody can eat my shrimp Alfredo.
Wow. You can hook up with someone in the first night if you find them attractive.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Wow.
This is how, and this is the average modern woman. If you go out and talk to them, you will see this is not nothing new. They will rather have sex and give up their body because they think it has less consequences than cooking for a man. Let that sink in. That is how much the feminist propaganda has degenerated the woman's mind. They will not do anything for a man that they don't physically get pleasure from. Because remember, sex is something that both the man and the women enjoy. Don't be fooled. You got to read their romance novels. You know which one I'm talking about.
No,
You know which one I'm talking about.
Morning Glory Milking Farm.
You know. Read that stuff and you will see. Women enjoy it too. They just degenerate, more perverted than we are. Anyways, so to act like they don't enjoy it is a lie that a lot of men, they don't enjoy it with you. Here's the other thing about that. What will degenerate your mind to the point where you think cooking is a heavier weight than giving up your body to somebody? I don't think that's satanic. Anything that involves sacrifice is too much, but things I get pleasure from is totally okay. That's exactly what Satan wants for our generation. That right there. You can read that.
So we kind of have a little summation here. So there's a challenge. So if modern dating is producing loneliness, burnout, distrust, and frustration, why would we expect more of the same to produce better results? I mean, so Proverbs 14:12 puts it this way. There's a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way to death.
That's right. We think a certain way is right. And one of the things that we think is right in our society today is we think the way we do modern dating is the way it should be. Oh, you find yourself a good girl, you go out and, you play the field for a little bit. That's what we tell men. We tell women, oh, find yourself, girl. Hot girl summer. Go out and have fun. You don't need to be, you're 26. You're still young. We lie. There is a way that seems right to a man, but in the end, it is death. Proverbs 14:12. What do y'all think these verses mean if they don't apply to us and what we're doing today? They apply. We think our way is right, and guess what? And this is the way that is leading to death specifically. There are women right now who tried to freeze their eggs and found out that it was a much harder process than they previously thought. And now they failed and they spent $20,000 freezing their eggs. And guess what? The eggs are dead. No more children for them. They are living life with this idea that they could come back and have kids at age 40, and they can't. It led to death. Their family line is over. That's a harsh as death as any, because they believe the feminist lie. Their family line is dead. Their parents will never see grandkids. That's sad, man. That's super sad. All because they believed a feminist lie. And then they try to cope about it. It ain't nothing to cope about. We can continue with the final statement.
So the boy sober movement isn't proof that women don't want relationships. It's evidence that many people are becoming disillusioned with a dating culture that has drifted far from God's design.
That's 100% true.
Yep.
What we find out about the boy sober movement is this just another step in feminism trying to correct problems that feminism created? They ain't doing nothing special by saying we're going to abstain from sex, but we're going to be more selfish. The selfishness is what got you to delve into sex in the first place. And you think throwing more selfishness on top of it is going to somehow fix your life when it's all built on a foundation of selfishness, me, 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 me. Life is all about me. Instead of finding your husband and saying, I'm going to serve him and serve God. It's funny because Satan's solution always leads you deeper into sin and never out. Deeper into slave to yourself, slave to your desires, slave to flesh, never out of it. And the more people realize that if we don't correct women and we act as if, no, well, the men can just need to step their game up and, if men just worked harder and got more money and got some muscles and magically grew taller, women would love them. At what point are we going to deal with these problems that are perpetuated by women? At what point? And because men, godly men, are failing to address, because I don't expect women to. Women are much too soft to deal with this stuff. They do not call out other women. They have a sisterhood, and this is why we don't expect women to be leaders of the church. They do a terrible job calling other women out and calling any sin out in general. They're not built for that. They are built to encourage. They built to nurture. They very, very terrible at being the disciplinarian in the same way that men are terrible at social skills comparably to women. So I expect godly men to call this stuff out. And a lot of godly men have been simps, have been pushed over, have been trying to do everything they can do to please women with their platform, have been trying to act like everything is equal on all sides. Well, if men didn't do that, and men are the ones who are telling these women we're watching OnlyFans. At what point are you going to call the women out for their part in this without just calling out the men or acting as if everything is equal? It's not always equal. Yes, there's things that men do evil, but there's things that women do that are evil and are absolutely never called out. And somebody needs to stand up and say something. And I guess it's got to be me, because a lot of these pastors and these weak men they don't have the balls to do it, apparently. But with that being said, anything that stood out to you, Mr. Producer, today?
Just lots of cats. And I noticed too, a lot of those videos, they were being filmed or shot in their cars.
Yeah.
And
What do you think is the reason for that?
They have nowhere else to go. They don't, or no, everyone else is tired of hearing them talk, and they've got to go somewhere where it's quiet, where they can lock themselves in.
I don't know.
I'm just throwing stuff out there with that, but it struck me as, and how many of them are just like seeking attention. It's just a pure attention grab and cats.
Yeah.
It was just cats and cats and cats and cats, and the Morning Glory milking farm. I'm
Yeah.
You mentioned that, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think we'll save that next section about.
Okay, for next time.
Yeah, I think I think I might cover it on Monday, where I talk about what can men do. This is what I want to cover next. We'll do this on Monday, but is the attributes every Christian man should have that attract any woman that the church does not explain well. I'll read that again. The attributes every Christian man should have that attract any woman that the church does not explain well. And I think a lot of men are searching for something, and a lot of men, they go to people like Andrew Tate, Myron Gaines, and the Red Pill and stuff like that. And a lot of things that they say is true. But then they want a Christian perspective, because we cannot deny, once God has revealed to us, that he is real and he has a way for us to live. And if he has a way for us to live, People want to hear stuff, how to be a masculine man from a godly Christian man perspective. And they also don't want it to be sugarcoated or whitewashed where you say, oh, just serve the Lord and things will go good. That's not the truth. You can serve the Lord and still not attract a good woman. You can be a godly man and still be very unattractive and do things that make you very unattractive to most women. And Christian men are just like, oh, just pray about it. No, that's a disservice. We need to start telling men the truth. What can you do to attract more women in your life? To attract a godly wife? Because I don't care how godly a woman is, if she's not attracted to you, you're not going to be achieving what you're supposed to in marriage anyway. She must be attracted to you. Don't believe this lie that, oh, if we both serve God, we'll never lose attraction for each other. That's not true. There's some things, just like breast and having a nice butt does for a man and his attraction, there's things men can do to attract a woman that are very rarely talked about, because when Christian men, oh, we don't want to talk about that sexual attraction stuff. That's part of your problem. I'm going to address them on Monday. But before I get too much into that, because I'm getting into it already, thank you guys for joining us on The Righteous Edge. We're going to have some guests. We got something lined up. I just got a message from one of my friends. He said he'll come on next week, Mr. Producer, next Friday.
Cool.
So we'll plan for that.
All right.
And we'll try our new setup where we have like me doing a show and then he can actually be like on the side and put his little 2 cents in. That'll be cool. So we'll try that. And if you guys got any other ideas, hit us up at therighteousedge@gmail.com. Thanks for joining, and peace.